I just wondered what it was. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so we got the red dot going on. So what I'm going to do now is open it up for questions. So if you have any questions that you need answered or anything you want to go over, now's the time to let me know.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right, let's go.
Okay. All right. Earlier today, and I know what Bitcoin, I mean, I can look it up. I don't really know. But there were specific things that were done, that Paul did that were hieroglyphics. He took the hieroglyphics and he went, you cut this much and you use this. You cut this, you use it.
Talking about Thursday night?
What? No, I'm talking about, this morning too.
He did the same thing this morning.
So I just, that's the only place. And then he went over menu, which I thought was interesting, but that's not as important as the hieroglyphics in Bitcom that I was a little confused.
I missed his classes for Thursday because I had a training. And then this morning I was at the ball field. So I didn't see what he did on the Bitcoin.
Well, I can tell you, I mean, if you go to Bitcoin, I can, tell you approximately all it is. And I mean, I'm sure you've done it. It's certain, let me get the light here. It's just, these huge long numbers. And then he quickly took out part of it. Now, if you don't want to go over, that's fine. I can,
Those are the percent signs.
Yeah. Right. But I didn't know what he meant.
I got you. I got you what you're talking about. Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. We'll go over that.
Okay.
You talked to Paul?
Percent signs in your website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, that was just, he just went too fast. And
Yeah.
like I said, he'll probably I went to look at his magic response. Don't say a thing about that.
Yeah.
It was so light. The screen was so light. Now, I just don't think it was my Mac. And then his arrow's moving so fast and it's so light. And I'm going, I got to.
When you sent me your link that you're using for Response Magic, I know exactly what's going on with yours. We'll go over that.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to take everybody else's time.
No, as soon as, because somebody else might be having the same issue, and it's not anything that you're doing wrong. We'll go over that. And as soon as I saw when you posted your link and sent it to me, I was like, oh, she went somewhere else.
I'm Jewish, and I'm like, hallelujah, yes. I'm 2 hours, guys, and I was crying.
Yeah. We'll go over because Response Magic is a 2-part program, and so we'll definitely go over that because I'm pretty sure there's other people that have experienced the same thing and was trying to figure out what they did wrong, and you didn't do anything wrong. You're just in the second phase of it.
Since we're going to be right there in that area, can we look at that Trello too? Because I don't know what that's about.
The which one?
Trello.
Trello.
Yeah, that was messing me up. I didn't know what it was asking for.
Okay, we'll go over Trello. How to set up Trello. All right. What else we got?
Could you do me a favor?
Sure.
Could you update your WordPress 5.2.1? I'm sitting here trying to update mine, clicking on it, and it won't do it.
No, and I have to actually send mine to tech, but I don't do anything to my website while I'm working in it. When I shut it down on Saturday nights, that's when I'll send it to tech board. And so Matt can have a look at it, and hopefully it'll be up and running by Sunday afternoon when I cut it back on. But I will, because it wouldn't let me update it the other day to 2.0, and I got a PHP error. All right, so
I have a question.
Hold on. If you have some background noise, could you just mute yourself until you have a question, since we are recording? And then that way we can make sure that we can listen to everybody without too much interference. Okay. Questions, I heard.
Yes, please. I went to update my dashboard a couple of days ago, and there's one on the dashboard that says wants to update, and it required a password to the server. So I just X'd out. and
Yes.
said, no, just ignore it. So is that what I should do then?
Yeah, if it's asking you for a password after you do or try to do an update, usually it means that you have your system up too long without it shutting down and refreshing. So you need to shut it down and then come back and then do an update. If it gives you that same message that you need a password, get with your instructor so they can send it to the tech board, give them as much detail as you can, because that means you're missing a code somewhere in your system that it's asking you for something that you don't have. That's only the builders of the system have. So, yep. So if you get that where it's asking you for a password to put something in, unless it's the password to open your system, when you go in it and then it asks you for your name and your password, then that's what you got from the beginning. But if you're not there and you're in your update where you are here and you do the update here, and it's asking you for a keyword or password to get in, then just stop right there. Don't try to put anything in. You don't want to lock your system up, and just get with your instructor and say, hey, it's asking me for a password when I do my update. And then they will send it to Matt on the tech, and he'll fix it. And he's usually pretty fast. He usually fixes them within a day or a couple of days and get it back to you. But that doesn't mean you can't still work in it. That's the other thing, is that when you do go to your tech board or your systems in the tech board, you can still go in and work in it. Just don't try to do any updates or anything. Just mainly do your, making new pages, or you can go in and do your edits and modifications. But don't try to do any updates to the actual system.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So what else we got?
Sheila? Can we go over how to change the menu names or create a menu name?
Sure can. Change or create menu item. Okay. What else?
I did something weird the other day, and I want to know if you knew what I did. I don't know if you can. I was trying to color some sections on something I was modifying. And I don't know what I did, but when I got done coloring what I want to color, and I had 3 of the same paragraphs up.
Okay, so somehow it did a duplicate copy.
Yeah, I had 3 of them up. I mean, I got them off. I got 2 of them off, but I'm not sure what I did to get 3 of them up there, though.
Okay, it probably just copied a random block, and sometimes there can be some glitches in your system. It's not always perfect. That's why I always say before you update or publish your page, go through and look at it just to make sure that everything's the way it needs to be. And it could be that when you went to do a color, maybe you could have hit the duplicate or duplicate the block or reuse the block. It could have been any number of things, especially if you know, hey, I did not do this, I didn't click anything, then more than likely it was a glitch. Your system could have done a manual or a automatic update or save, like you see every once in a while to come through, and you can see it where it's doing a random save. And you could have been in the middle of doing the color and it was saving. I've had this happen to me before. I'm actually typing something out, and it's doing that random update or random save. And then when I go to look at it, it doesn't type anything. So I'd sit there and wait. And then when it comes through, then my sentence duplicated itself. I don't know why it did that. So that could have been the other thing that happened to you, is that it could have been in the middle of saving the page that it does automatically. And by you still doing work in it, then the system was thinking that you wanted to repeat that work. So that could have been what happened. So there's really no explanation as far as that, other than it's a computer glitch. Because I've done that before. Look, and it's like I got the same sentence 2, 3, 4 times because I was typing it. Yeah, because I was typing and it was saving, and usually when it's doing that, it doesn't allow you to do anything. So then when it did catch back up, then it just repeated everything I typed during that time. So that could have been what happened.
But you're supposed to copy it and put it in that paragraph that's right.
Yes.
You're supposed to Control C and then Control V it into that paragraph, then color it.
Yeah. Well, we'll go over color sections. So we'll go over that and show you how to do that with the color. You don't have to do that when you are going to color your pages. or color section, there's actually a menu over on the side to where you can do that. So we will go over that.
That's too many steps, you're saying, what I did?
Yeah, just to color it. Yeah, you don't have to do all that to color it once you're in the block mode. So
I thought you had to go out of block into classic. I went to format, then I went to classic, and I put it in the block. Then I copied, put it in the block, colored, and then got out of it.
Yeah. If you're coloring single words, then yes, that's fine. If you are coloring and you are in regular block mode, there's actually a block on the side that allows you to color your information. So I'll show you how to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. When you are the only thing is when you are in block, you can't color individual words. You can only color a whole paragraph, or you can color the background. You can't do individual words. You can only do that in block.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, individual words.
Yep. But just remember that when you do the individual words, that it's not a word or phrase you're going to link, because if you link it, it's automatically going to change it to that blue. That's just the default for links. Yep. So it's not going to change your color or keep your color when you link it. So once you convert it back to a block and you're like, oh, that's a word I want to link, I don't care what color you have previously changed it to. Once you link it, it's going to go to this blue. It's just a default for your links. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, but we'll go over on how to change color sections. All right. What's next? Anybody else got any questions?
Yes, Sheila.
Uh-huh.
Okay. When you do the response magic stuff, could you also go over again if, say, for instance, I want to put a message in there that I want to send out every week?
Okay.
To my students.
You want to do a repeat email?
Yes. And I know you've gone over this before. It hasn't sunk in yet.
We will. Sure will. Go over it.
Okay. And then could you also confirm that if I have a page on my menu and I remove it from the menu, all it does is remove it from the menu. It doesn't actually remove the page.
No, it doesn't take no. Because I had to go in and change some stuff this morning on mine. I always, about every 2 weeks, I do a broken link checker to see, and I had one that was actually a menu item. It wasn't a page because my page was in default, was in draft. But for some reason, I don't know why, maybe I just forgot, but I never took the menu page off. So yeah, once you go into your menu structure and remove the menu title, it does not remove your page. You have to physically go to that page and put it in draft or trash it. On the menu structure, all it does is remove the menu title. It does not remove your page. So if you still want your page to be active, just not searchable on your menu, then just remove that title. Your page is still in your system. However, if you want that page removed, then you have to go to that physical page in your all pages and put it in draft or put it in trash, however you want to do it to make sure that it's gone. Okay.
And if I then, okay, so the skincare page, wrinkle, whatever it's called, from Valentis, if I want to have that in more than under more than one category, how do I ask this question?
How do you put it in multiple categories, basically?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you try to dissuade you from that.
Okay.
The reason being is when you apply for Google AdSense, they don't like to see a lot of the same thing in the same menu because they want different content. That's not saying you can't do it. My rule of thumb is no more than 2 of the same thing in your menu category. For the simple fact, like I said, Google wants to see different stuff. They don't want you to think, or they don't want to go in thinking that you have this great long menu structure with all the different things people can look for, and then they click it or their bots go through it and find out, oh, she just got the same thing in a bunch of different places. You will get denied for Google for that. So you want to make sure that if you do have the same thing, you only use it twice in your menu structure. Please mute yourself if you have background noise. It's kind of hard for me to hear. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. So yeah, if you do have something you want to use twice, or it can be used in multiple categories, just pick your 2 best categories you want to use it in. Then that way you won't get blackballed from Google, and it will be appropriate. And that's the other thing, make sure it is in the appropriate category, and that it is spaced. You don't want to have it, in your first category, then you go down to your second category and it shows up again. Make sure that it is appropriately spaced out if at all possible. But 2 is my rule of thumb. Anything more than 2, then Google's going to kind of go back over your system with a fine-tooth comb, looking to see if maybe you do have more duplicate content. Just maybe change the title here, but your content's still all the same. So just be careful with that. All right, guys, if we can't get rid of the background noise, I'm going to have to mute us all out. And I hate doing that because I really like y'all's feedback. So if you are not asking a question and you have background noise, please, please, please mute yourself until you need a question or have a question to ask. Thank you. All right, any more questions?
I have 2 more.
Okay.
Okay. I know we're allowed to have pages on our system that are not under any categories.
Mm-hmm.
But is there a limit to that Google wants to see?
No. The more pages you have, the better.
Whether they're in a category or not.
Yep. And the only time that you need to put stuff in your category or menu page is if it's something that you really want to stand out, that you want people to have immediate access to. That's what you put on your menu structure in your drop-down categories. You don't want to clutter it up. Every page you have does not need to be in your menu structure, does not need to be in a drop-down. That's why you have your search tab at the beginning of every page, or at the beginning of your home page. Any page that somebody pulls up should have a search where they can go in and search for items in your web system. So you will have what we call free floating pages, which mean that they are in your system. They're relevant content. You have them associated either with a product or service that you have, or it's just a blogging page. I have several that's just blogging pages where I put my thoughts down, almost like diary type stuff. Or I've talked about a topic that is very dear to me, or something that just really ticked me off at that particular time, and I wanted to put my thoughts down, that are really not associated with anything at the moment. Not to say I won't go back through and maybe put it with something that I get approval for, but those do not necessarily go in a category or a menu. That's just something that's in my system for content, which is perfectly fine. But you do not want to clutter up your menu with every page that you have. That's not necessary. You only want the most prominent things on your menu that you want people to be able to hit immediately.
Okay, this is something new to me. Where are these hidden pages at?
On your system. When you go to all pages, that includes every page. Like right now I have 212 pages. I do not have 212 pages in my menu. Okay, so these are all the pages that are in your system that you have created or that came with your system. If you go to your menu, here's my menu structure. Okay, that needs to be muted. I come to my menu structure. I do not have 212 pages here. There's no way. My menu would be too long, too cluttered, and it would just be detrimental to my system to have 212 pages here.
Okay, so all these pages don't show up here, but they show up on your pages.
Yeah.
On all pages.
Yeah. Every page you create does not show up on your menu structure. You actually have to put it in your menu structure. It is not automatically in your menu. It's automatically in your web system, which is where you want it. Your menu is basically that. It's a menu for people to go and look for items that you want them to have immediate access to. So when they look at your menu, they can look and say, oh, she's got wine, cooking. Let me see what she's got in there. And these are all the things that I find relevant that people need to look for now. I don't want them to search my system. I want them to be able to go to it. Same thing with clothing, I want them to be able to go straight here. Hey, look, she's got plus size stuff. All right, she can look through there. I don't want them to have to go and wonder what I have in there. But once they get here, then they can actually, it might clue them into another key search word that they can go to my search tab in my system and search to see if I have another page relevant to whatever they're looking for. But yeah, you don't want every page to be on your menu. It'll just be too much clutter.
Sheila.
Yes.
Your pages that are not on your or in your menu, are they linked to a page that is on your menu so that when people are reading, they see that link and they can go see the page that is, like kind of hidden?
No. I do not have internal links to my menu. No. You would be there all day trying to link, and you don't need to link to your menu pages. That's the good thing about having your web system and making sure you have that search. They can search based on keywords. That's why your keywords and key phrases are so important. Just like you search on Google for keywords or through keywords or phrases, they can search your web system for the same thing. So that's why you want to make sure that you have relevant keywords in there or key phrases so they can search it. Once they see your menu, that will give them a clue as to what different products you have, and then they can search it through your system. But no, I do not link my menu to other pages. Mm-mm.
Well, I have on the Fine Wine or Wine Magic, I have 2 links that are not in my menu. One is explaining the major differences between red and white wine. And I have a link going from the Wine Magic to that red and white wine differences. And then when you're through reading it, there's a link you click to go back to the Wine Magic. That's the only way you can see it.
Yeah, that's called an internal link. That is quite all right. And Google wants that. But that does not link back to your main menu. But yes, you can link to other pages in your system. That's called an internal link, and it is highly recommended.
It's just not listed in my menu anywhere. The only way you can find it's in that link.
Yep, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine. That is what we call an internal link. You're linking one page in your system to another page in your system through your writing, and that's perfectly okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I found a couple of those pages and discovered that, oops, I didn't edit those.
Yes. Always edit. Go through, modify. And like Paul was saying the other night, if you have to question yourself whether you've modified it enough, you haven't. So if there's any doubt, did I do this enough? Then no. Until you are completely satisfied, you change it as much as you want to when you're modifying or editing a page. You want to leave no questions or no doubts in your mind or anybody else's mind that you have a duplicated page. Okay. All right. Any more questions?
Yes. One more that I know of. With the new DC rules or whatever you want to call it, changes. Now, I heard something in one of the meetings where they said how do I say this? That you should upgrade to Elite before or by Monday. And I know it's a better value, but what are the other reasons for doing so?
In DC, if you are just a customer, you will not be able to participate in the new compensation plan. If you are a brand partner, then yes, you can participate in any and all the compensation plans. If you come in as a non-product, which I have several students that's the non-product, there's certain compensation plans you won't be able to participate in until you get your volume levels up to a certain quota that you have to meet before you can get into that. But if you've come in as a brand partner, then you are eligible for all the compensation plans. However, there are certain, like with the Elite, which is the $500 package, that just puts you in a higher bracket for some of the compensations and the percentages that you get. I have one of my actually a couple of my students, they just worked their way up. They came in as a customer, then they converted to a brand partner, the low end when it came in as a discounted rate. Then they worked it for a couple months, and then they upgraded to the next part of it. And then I think one of them finally was, what was it? Was it December? Maybe November of last year. She finally upgraded to the elite. So it's not something that you have to do immediately at one time. You can build up to it, but you are eligible for all the compensations once you are in as a brand partner. Just depending on which level you are determines your percentage.
But I thought I heard something about to do it before or by Monday, so you'll be grandfathered in for some things. And
yeah, if you are not in DC at all, then you want to be able to get in before the new compensation plan takes effect. That way, anything you build between then and now actually gets in. Instead of you coming in after the new compensation plan starts, and then you only get what started that day. Like right now, I'm a master seller. I have, like with the tribe that they were talking about, I already have 2 tribes set up, actually 3. And so if I would have not came in, and started building, then I would have to build up to that. But since now I already have that, when I get started or once the compensation plan hits, then they will already categorize my groups into tribes. So I'll automatically start getting that compensation plan. So that's what they're saying, that if you can get in, that's why we were trying to get everybody to get in April and May, so that you could go ahead and start building up your tribes and building up your downline, so that when it starts effect in June, then all your people will be automatically grouped and grandfathered into the new compensation plan. That was the only thing.
Okay, and with if you upgrade to the elite, you get more of the coupons too?
Yes, you get more coupons too. I think at the $249, you get, what was it, 5 or 10, and then at the $500, I think you get 20, 25, 20. I can't remember how many it was. I got it in my notes around in the room. But yeah, you get more coupons to give out to potential customers to get them to be able to upgrade. But as far as the compensation, if you watch the Wednesday night compensation, the numbers are still the same. It's just on some of the perks, as being an elite, you get a few more perks.
And are the coupons only like an initial thing that once you use them all, that's it, or will they repeat?
No.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. It's what they've done before is you have your what they call a fast start, and with any business, with any company, a fast start is just an initial, supposed to be a short time benefit to get your business up and running. Well, DC's been doing the fast start bonus from the beginning for almost 2.5, 3 years since in their inception, instead of them getting rid of it. So if you came in, like I did at the very beginning, I got fast start bonus. Well, here it is almost 2 years later, and I'm still getting fast start bonus. That's unheard of. I should have only gotten it for the first, a set time, maybe 3 months, just to get my business up and running. So that's what DC's finally doing now, is they're saying, okay, our fast start bonus is going to be just what it was intended for. It's a fast start bonus to get you up and moving. It's going to be a big one-time sum of money every time you bring somebody in. But after a set period, you're not going to get your fast start bonus. You will actually just start getting a better compensation rate, which is the way it should work. And it's just better. That means, okay, you got 3 months to build your business fast. Then once you get it built and get it structured, then the compensation plan starts for the next next wave. But the fast start bonus, it's a good program. But if you're like me and you got gobs of people under you and your fast start bonus is gone, and then you start working on volumes, I got people up under people. Well, I didn't get anything from those. I just got it from my immediate volume. And like he was saying, $10 check sure isn't as much as, a $250 check for getting somebody in. So that was one of the problems with the plan, and they fixed that. So now it's going to be better. Your compensation is going to be better all the way around, instead of just a one lump sum every time you got somebody in. You got a big check, and then it started dwindling down after that. So the fast start bonus will still be in play, but only for a short period of time, like it was supposed to be. Then your compensation kicks in, which is what it should do, is that you get paid for the work that you've done, and it continues to come in as long as those customers or brand partners do what they need to do. And then if you have one that drops out, then everybody that's under them automatically comes up under you, and then you can, be able to work with them instead of, kind of having orphan children down below you. So it kind of...
Before, if you had orphan children, they just became that orphan children. They didn't move up to you?
I had to go find them. So, yes.
Oh. Wow.
But it happens, not just, with every business, everybody has different things that come up that happen. So it not to say that it's the perfect society. Any business, there's always going to be things that come up, especially when you own your own business. You just never know what happens in people's lives. But the good thing about DC is they do give you heads up when somebody in your organization leaves. And then because I have a way to go in and check on my DC people, then I can find out their information and let them know, hey, I'm going to be the one working or helping you out from now on. So I try to make sure as soon as I find out that I don't leave anybody hanging, I'm make sure that they're there. So, all right, if we don't have any more questions, we're going to start going over the topics. Do we have any more questions?
I have one more question.
Okay.
Did you say sometime back that when Google looks at you, if you don't have your green lights on, that they don't like that, and if you have too many, will even reject you? Is that what you said?
Yes, Google likes green and green. So if you have, when you go to your pages and you look at your Yoast, and you have, they will accept an orange. They will accept an orange. But if you have like red, and the reason you see I've got these in draft, anything in red, Google will immediately not even look at. It will not get posted because it is red. That's immediate saying something's wrong with it. If you have a lot of these, I can promise you will not get accepted by Google. If you have a lot of orange, you probably won't get accepted. Green and green is what they're looking for. That means that you've followed their protocols. You've done exactly what they said needs to be done. That does not mean that every part of that Yoast is green. You can still have an orange. You can still have a red in the overall view. This just means that as a whole, your page is perfect. But you could still have some little quirks there that is not perfect, but it just means that your overall score is in their green column. So you want as many of these to be green as you can. If you have some oranges like this one, it used to be green, now it's red. So I got to go in there and figure out what changed. But these right here, you want to have as many overall greens as possible. You can have a few oranges, like I said, but that doesn't mean they're going to stay that color. Once you've gotten used to your system, used to writing and editing, it usually takes you a couple months to get the flow of how you want your system to work. I promise you'll come back to some of these and you'll be able to fix them in a matter of minutes because you've gotten your confidence up and you know what you want to say and how it needs to be said because you're used to working in the Yoast format. And you'll get them green in no time. But before you go to apply for Google AdSense, you want to make sure that anything in red that you cannot get at least orange, you draft it because Google doesn't look at anything in draft. And make sure that even in your menu structure, you've taken the link out of your menu structure unless you want to work on it and get it at least orange, but you definitely want to at least make it green. No reds. They don't like anything in red. It will not get published. You,
What
you
do you
can,
mean? What
well,
do you
let me
mean
say that you can publish it, you can advertise it, but Google will not have it searched on Google. Does that make sense?
What about the what do you call it? The other one, the other light, your focus.
Yeah, but none of it. Yeah, any of this, your
Well,
SEO score or even your readability score.
I have a specific question for that.
Okay.
I have a blog site, and the first page really is just an index. It just shows the different blogs I wrote. So, of course, there's nothing there for it to rate good, bad, or indifferent on. So the focus light is gray or black.
It will not get published on Google. You can leave it in your web system. When Google comes to look at it, it will raise a flag. Whoever is doing that, can you please mute yourself? That's very annoying. I don't know who's doing it, but please. Sounds like you're killing some gum. But yeah, if you have any grays do not get indexed on Google. For the simple fact they don't know where to categorize it. You can have it in your system, and if you're going for Google AdSense, I would definitely make sure I put that in draft form, because if they see that, that could raise a red flag. It could potentially cause you not to get approval.
And then after they've approved me, I take it out.
Yeah, you can put it back in. They will periodically come back and check, but I promise you by then you can go back through and add some stuff to it to make it a page. If it's in your system, it should at least have a keyword, because some people might want to search that. Everybody has in their system the wine memes and sayings. And if you look at that, that's exactly what it is. It's just a bunch of pictures of sayings and memes. If you modify that, which I did, you can actually put little blurbs in, hey, if you need to go, is this meme match your day, or how does this make you feel? So you can actually go in and put little comments, little one-liners in to make your page a page instead of, like you said, an index, and make it a page. If it's in your system, then it should be a page. And you should make it look like a page, make it readable, so that people, if they do stumble across it, or if you advertise for it, if it's in your system, it should be searchable. It should be usable material. So you can make it to where it's still what you want it to be, but also where you can also make sure it's what Google needs it to be, because you want to make sure that your system is fully indexed in Google, not just part of it, or give them any reason to boot you out.
But I don't want to list each and every blog page that I write in the menu or anywhere. I just wanted the index to be on that first page, and you go in there and click on the page or the blog that you want to write. That you want to read, I mean.
Yeah, I that's what your menu's for. On your site, in your page, on the side of it. That's what your menu is for them to do that. If you want to be specific, like you said, you've actually indexed it, then at the very end of it, I would put at least a paragraph to explain or talk about what you've done. And then as your focus keyword, I would put indexed items or my index or something. Do not leave it gray.
Okay, I could do something like that at the end. I just didn't want to put it at the beginning.
If you want to leave the top of it as, like you said, basically an index of what's in your system, then that's perfectly fine. Just make sure at the very bottom you do have some content that explains what you've done, and that you do give it a keyword, because if it's a page in your system, then Google's going to look at it as a page in your system if it's active and live, which means you've published it. If it's in draft, they will never see it. No one coming to your page will be able to see it. But if you've published it so that it's seeable, it's viewable, then Google can see it. And if it doesn't follow their protocols and parameters, it could raise a red flag and potentially get you not approved for AdSense. So you need to make sure, even though it's just an index or category page, basically, you still want to make sure that it has content and that you do give it that focus keyword and the parameters or for field.
Well, somebody's got to tell Google not to be so damn rigid. They got to be flexible. I elect you.
That would be wonderful, but then you would have so much stuff on Google search that it would be irrelevant and not very profitable to those that actually follow the rules. So that's one of the good things about it, is that if you do follow the rules that Google sets and gets that traffic to your system, then that's how you become profitable within the margins that we have. So everybody has their reasons for doing whatever it is that they do. So that's all I can say. If I had Google's money, I'd probably set my own rules too.
Well, I did take you up on your suggestion, and I have started a column called Tales from the Congo.
There you go. See? Perfect. So now you got basically your mini series started. So that's going to be great. And you're going to get traffic, I promise.
Can we go look?
Sure.
Yeah.
What's your thingy, Bobby?
2E95.
2E95. Thank you.
No, sorry, 2P95.
Oh, I was getting ready to say not E. That's
I don't know why I said E.
because you're thinking about me.
True.
Okay. So,
Hey, Sheila, I got a question.
yes.
Those numbers that are underneath that page, is a page with an arrow coming out like it's being forwarded or something past the date, that column past the date published?
Yeah.
Now, what are those for?
This is the number of internal links that I have in that page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I have 3 internal links that basically go to another page in my system. So that lets me know that it's linked. It follows some of the parameters. You know, this one I have 7. So, but you can basically go in and set up this however you want to. If you like, this one tells you your key phrase. You know, sometimes when it tells you that you've linked this page with the same key phrase, you can come out and look here and see where that page is. And find out, and it might not be the exact key phrase. You could be using the same set of words, just randomly changed it a little bit, but you're still using the same words. So if you ever get that that message when you're in your Yoast that it says you're using the same key phrase that you've linked another page to, don't do that. And that's what it says. Then what you can do is come out, save that in a draft, come out and look for and see where you've used it. If it's really bothering you that bad. A lot of times what I say is if I get that phrase, instead of coming and trying to find it, just change the phrase of the page I'm in. Just makes it easier than trying to go and hunt for a page that's already created and done.
Because I have gotten that message on my Yoast. I'm going, okay, so, and that's what I've done. I've changed it within the page I'm on.
Exactly. That just makes it easier because that's a new page. It hasn't been published, instead of trying to go to find one that's published and thinking maybe I need to change that one. It's just easier to change the one you're working in since it's new.
Okay.
All right.
And how do you set that up the way you want it?
It should be there.
Okay.
If it's not, if you go up here to where it says screen options.
Okay.
And if you click on your screen options, it shows you what you can add.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And now I noticed under one of your key phrases, you had submit mail or email or something like that.
Yeah. This is, I have it in draft. It's one of the other marketing houses that I use. They do email submissions. So that's my key. That was my key phrase. And I have it in draft because it didn't work like I wanted it to work. But everything that's in here is basically a submission for an email, just like we have with our Valentis pre-enroll. So I didn't like it. I didn't like the actual content I wrote, so I just put it in draft until I can figure out how I want to do it. Since I've done this, because you see how old it is, I've gotten quite a few approvals in CJ on gambling and betting and beating the odds and things like that. But a lot of them's not in the United States. So I'm just trying to find some things that are in the U.S. that I can market with this before I go in it and rework it. So I have a lot of stuff in draft that I want to, I've got 38 of them that I need to go in and figure out how I want to market it. Like this one's green and green already, but I just haven't, I don't like the way it sounds. Just a bunch of random ideas, but yeah, if you want to go in and put your different information up here, just go to your screen options up here at the top. And you want to make sure you click exactly which one, like I have my outgoing internal links, which is that one, your readability, your SEO title. If you want to put that, you can actually have that where you can see exactly what your title is if you want to put your meta description. But you want to make sure that you don't clutter it too much. Again, you want to make sure your page stays neat so that you're not looking all over the place for different things. Mainly what you want to make sure that you have is your Yoast, your readability, and your key phrases. To me is very big because that's what you search for on Google when people go in. So you want to make sure you have good key phrases. That's a red flag if you've used a key phrase before and it really bothers you and you want to see where it's at. This will be a good way to find out where that key phrase is. That you've used, or the wording, because sometimes it's not necessarily you've used the exact key phrase so much as you've used the same words. So that's a good thing, how you can go in and set this page up to see how you want to view it. Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about the percent signs. And I don't have any in mind because all of mine are done. But when you go to, and I can tell you which pages they are in, one of them is definitely in your Fine Wines page. And it is in
Bitcoin
Smart Miner. So let's go to Smart Miner.
And Artisan Soap had some too.
Artisan Soap has it. So we're going to go to, let's just visit site. And for those of you, we're going to go to Smart Miner right here. And this one had quite a few in it, especially in the drop down where it was talking about all the different percentages that you could do.
Sorry, should I ask it now or wait?
Somehow I just lost my internet. Are y'all still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We
see your screen, Dawn.
Okay, good. All right. So right here in your Bitcoin, when you go to your Smart Miner, when you get to this part right here, instead of it saying 100%, it's going to say 100. It's going to have a bracket. And then it's going to have a ton of characters. Actually, I think there's 23 in all. And then it's going to have an ending bracket. So what you have to do is it's a percent. And for some reason, whenever, and they're trying to find the glitch. They have yet to find the glitch. Whenever they build a new system, and it's just on new systems, whenever they build a new system, for whatever reason, the programming cannot decipher a percent. It does not like the code. So you will usually see something like this. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And it'll have a bunch of random characters, numbers, and then it will have an ending bracket. Okay. So you will see, and it will be the same thing on the page. Every page will have the same set of characters in it, in the bracket. But when you go to another page and see it again, it will have a different set of characters. So it did not know how to decipher a percent sign. So whenever you see this in any page, just remember, hey, that's supposed to be a percent sign. So all you have to do is highlight from bracket to bracket, including the bracket, and hit your Shift 5 and put the percent in. And then you're going to just hit your update when you get finished. Some of them have more than others. Some of them have few. Some of them have, I know in the wine pages, they all have it when they talk about the compensation plan down towards the middle of the page. computer or the excuse me, Smart Miner has it. Definitely Artisan Soap Creek, it has it. I think there's 5 in it. One of them's at the very bottom, at the very end of it, where it tells you to click here to start now or to shop, and then it's got a big old bracket and a % sign. The other thing is it is also in a couple of the videos. I'm not going to talk about video code because it confuses people. The easiest thing to do with the video is to go to 1f16.com and copy it and bring it back over, because I don't want you to go in messing with the video. And the reason I say that is because this is what the code looks like. And you see where this % is? It has the same thing. When you pull up your code, because Smart Miner should be in classic form unless they fixed it. So whenever you convert to block and it pulls up the code, you're going to see this 56.25, and it's going to have that bracket. Same thing with this 100. Same thing. There's like 4 or 5 of them in here. Here's another 100, but it's going to have that same thing. So the reason I say I don't play with code with some people is because if you take out this semicolon or take this out, this quotes out, it'll mess up the format, and your video won't play, your picture won't show. If you mess up the spacing, same thing. So my thing is either, just remove the video, go copy the video from 1f16.com, which is Rory's page, and then come back and paste it back in, or go to YouTube and find a video on Bitcoin, copy the embedded URL, come back and put it back in. Either way. But yeah, you're going to find this code for Bitcoin. And then, when you click on your preview, then it will actually show the information that's in there. So that's how you can go in and do that. Same thing with here. Here's another one that it shows the different, information here. This is the one I think that doesn't work, that I need to take out and go fix. But some of the things, you just need to go in and have a look at, make sure that it's the way it needs to be. But on your pages, when you run across those % signs, or that string of characters, like right here, this actually takes up twice this much space because every one of these % has that string of numbers and characters in there. So just remember, you need to do that. Also, in your menu structure, if you go to your menu, you have one in your menu. And just because you fix your page, it does not fix your menu. So when you go to your menu structure, the one about government, where was it at? There's one in here about government, something another.
Option resources, I think.
Yeah, government auctions. Yes, that's the one. Yes, under resources. Did I take it out? Yeah, right here.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come to this one, you actually have to edit it in the menu. So you're just going to click your page. You don't edit it here, you edit it right here. So when you come here to government auctions, it's going to have the same thing. It's going to have this % sign, the 95 with that string of characters. So you're going to go up here and do the same thing, just space over, grab that information, highlight it, put your % sign in. And then once you finish that, you have to go to Save Menu and click it. You have a Save Menu at the top and bottom of your menu structure. So just depending on where you are in your menu structure, go to the easiest one or the closest one and just click your Save Menu. You're going to watch your update manager up here turn. Once it reverses and changes colors, it's going to tell you your menu's been saved. Once you do that, you can exit the page. If you exit the page before it does that, it will revert back to the original format. Okay?
Okay, Sheila, hang on a second. That when you said highlight from bracket to bracket and then hit shift what?
Shift 5, wherever your % sign is. I think max command, and then whatever the number the wherever the percent sign is located. On Windows or on my Dell, it's over the 5. I think that's where it is, and everywhere. I just don't know. I think with Mac computers,
it's over the 5.
Yeah, I think with Mac computers, it's Command 5.
Okay.
That's
why it's Shift 5. You put a percent in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you hit Shift and then the number 5, then your percent sign will show up.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
All right. So that's how to do that. The other thing we're going to go over is Response Magic, and it is a thorn in a lot of people's side, but Response Magic is in 2 phases. This right here, and you need to make sure it says responsemagic.com, is where you go in to log in for your personal information to where you create your personal response magnets. Okay? Now, the one that you sent me, Miss Constance, has platinum in it. Okay?
But can I interrupt? When I went to what you just, that mailbox, I clicked on, because I have it saved, and I clicked on login. I never went to this. I mean, I have been on this page, for all of a sudden, from the mailbox, it ain't going to that page.
And it could be because if you signed up for the platinum, if you've changed and put your login for your platinum in that first one, it will not. It won't recognize it because they're 2 different programs for the same company.
Okay, no, before I signed up for that platinum, I was just, forget the platinum. I was like I always do. Like I always go into response, and it didn't. So then I go, okay, forgot password. Okay, look for the email. Okay.
Yeah. And it could, and I, because I had the worst, I have like 4 accounts with Response Magic because of that. The platinum, I kept putting my platinum email and information in this one. And that's why I always say, if you can, save it after you get into your program. That way, when it comes up, you should save it here. So whenever you log in, it's right here.
Right where? Wait a minute.
Right here. Once you log in, right here.
Where the mailbox is, right?
No. After you go through the mailbox, this is where you should save it. This is where you should bookmark it.
Okay. Yeah.
So you don't have to go through setting your password.
Yep. So after you set your password and you log in, bookmark it right here. So that whenever you log in, it comes here. The only time it should take you back to the mailbox where it tells you to log in is if you cleaned your cache out, or you've updated your computer, or you've done whatever, and it takes out your passwords. Then it will bring you back to your mailbox to log in. That's the only other time that it will ask you to do your login. Now, if you've forgotten what it is, if you come up here to your 3 dots, and you go to your settings. I think it's your settings. Let me get this right. Go to your settings, and you can actually go to your passwords. And if you've saved your passwords, you're going to go down here to where it says passwords, and you can click on, and it will show you all your passwords.
I got that page.
Yeah, I went there.
Yeah, and
how do you see it? Okay, I clicked on that.
Click on that. And my computer's passcoded. My whole computer is. So if I click on this, it's going to ask me for my password for my computer before it will show me what these passwords are. That way nobody can hack into my system. So, because I have all my students' website saved. So if they ever call me with anything, I can go in there and look at their website. It has all my advertisers in here. So all I have to do is just look for what I'm looking for. Click on this I. It's going to ask me for my computer password. I'll key that in, and then it will show me the password just for what I'm looking for. It doesn't open up all of them.
Right.
And then, but again, you got to make sure that this matches, because I know you've got like 10 different email accounts.
Me?
Yeah.
Me? No, I don't.
Well, I'm just picking with you, Ms. Cotton.
Okay. No, because I was thinking, that's the point. That's the problem. I go, wait a minute. I don't have.
So you want to check to make sure that you have the exact same email, because this is the email I use, but and make sure that you have, however you have it set up, and then you want to make sure that it's the right Response Magic. Make sure it does not say Platinum member, that it just says Response Magic. That you put that in there. And again, if it doesn't work, then you did the right thing. You got in contact with Response Magic. Response Magic also is very slow about sending their emails. I've waited up to 2 days to get an email from them, and by then I had already set up a Response Magic account. So
I'm on the line now, and I'm going to look at a CJ. But now it wants me to Google Chrome.
So that's where you can go. But like I said, you want to make sure that you have the Response Magic, and then we have.
What's the difference between Platinum and Response Magic?
That's what I'm getting ready to find my Platinum one. Response Magic Platinum is where you go and actually have your link that you can send for people to sign up for Response Magic, like right here, Platinum Partners.
Okay.
And it looks like this.
Right.
And when you log in, here is your information for you to market Response Magic for commission.
Oh, okay.
So this is your link. This is the link I send to my students whenever they say, okay, I want to sign up for Response Magic. Right. Here's my link I send to my students, for your custom link, your referral link, I send it to them. But this is also the link I market. I'll send it out, hey, do you need a way to generate leads, or to keep up with your own information for your current leads, then here's a great program that you can use for email generation. And then I have this link in there that I can send them. It's also in your page whenever you create your page for lead generations. I think Response Magic is in there. This is the link you would put in there, whatever your link is.
How you got to that one? Can you show me that again, please?
Yeah, I'm on there. Now I'm on it, and I don't know.
Yeah, once you go into your Response Magic.
No. If you clicked what you just did, that's what I did. I just clicked what you just showed us. That little number, email. Can you go back?
Okay, hold on.
Go back. No. All the way back. Oh, yeah. Okay. See where it says share your personal. I just clicked on that, on mine or whatever mine is, and I went to this Response Magic, but free email marketing software systems.
Yeah, but you don't click on your own link. That means you're trying to set up your link. Yeah, this is what you market. So you don't want to do that. That's your line that you send people to market to get paid for. Yeah.
Where can I go?
So Miss Marie, hold on, let me get Miss Marie. So Miss Marie, what you want to do is when you log into your Response Magic, at the very top, it will say become an affiliate. And you will click on that and create an affiliate account. And it will ask you. Yeah.
Okay, I got that. I got my affiliate. So that's the other way to get it if you lose it.
Yep. So see, it's got a different one. You see, this says Partner Platinum Synergy. It doesn't say Response Magic. Now, you can't get to this from here. So you can't get to your magnets from here. You actually have to click back on it because they're two different programs of the same company. So you want to make sure that you keep your information separate and name it. Don't just say Response Magic. You need to say Response Magic, and then you need to say Platinum Synergy Response Magic, because that's your affiliate link. This Response Magic is your personal use link where you create all your magnets, you create your email broadcast. This is for you to use personally. The Platinum series is where you market. That's your marketing tool.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought that's the one I had. So that's not the same. It is or not?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to check that then when I get home, I check that.
Yeah. Yeah. So check and make sure if it just says Response Magic, then that's your link that you put on your website, on your side menu for your lead generation. That's the one that you give but the one that you give your students is for the Platinum series. So you want to make sure that you've given, when you go to your Platinum Partners, and make sure it says this is the link that you give your students for them to go in and sign up for your Response Magic instead of Rory's. So whenever
well, yeah, okay. I just need to check the link then, because that's what I think I've been doing all the time.
Yeah. So you want to make sure, and you set it up, because like mine's Mama Chief. So if anybody comes back, so whenever I have my student referral sheet and it's got all my referral information on it, I have my information. All my links are mine that I created through my programs. So none of them are Rory's anymore. So
yes, I have that. I just maybe, okay, I think I got what you're saying. I just never saw it like that, like the way you're showing it.
Yep. Yeah. And a lot of people, when they go to log into their Response Magic for them to get their personal information, they are logging into their Platinum, and the information's not the same. Your login is not the same. It's totally different. The mailbox looks the same sometimes, but then, you know, as you saw when I log into the Platinum series, it just has that small little window. So you want to make sure if you get the big mailbox that you put in the one for Response Magic only, not the one for the Platinum information, because they're not the same. They're the same company, but they're not the same information.
I'm still, all right. I'm going.
Is there a certain level we need to be at to go get Platinum?
No, if you want to market Response Magic, you need to just log in as an affiliate and create an account.
Okay.
That's all you need to do. And at the top of your Response Magic, when you log in, when you get the mailbox, at the very top, it'll say log in as affiliate. And once you log in, if you have not created an account, then you just go in and create an account. If you want to use the same login information, it will not let you. It will tell you you're already in. But you're already in on the other side, not as an affiliate. So that's why a lot of people get confused, because it makes you use two different login informations.
All right. So I'm going to send a password. And I went into affiliates, and now I'm with that, Response Magic affiliate center login. So I'm going to say forgot password.
Okay.
It's not me. That's not me.
All right.
Mine. I shut it off.
All right, so we're going to let you do that, and I'm going to go through here and go through some more of the menu stuff, because it's 2:16, and I got some people that's going to come in.
All right.
All right, so since we're on Response Magic, I'm going to show one of the things was how do we create an email. All right, so you are on your Response Magic page, and it should say Response Magic, your control panel. Right. You have your create information right here, and you want to go to create an email. And so you click on that. And if you're not sure how to create an email, they have this video right here. Watch it. It's very informative. It's very short. But all you're going to do is put in a subject line. Like if I want to make sure, here's all of mine that I have. But if I want to do like the Tuesday night the marketing follow-up. Okay. And then I want to do the names, and this is important. Not that bracket. Is it that bracket? They have certain ways that you have to do the name. For the name, if some of y'all that gets Roy's, you see that he has his in there, so you have to follow the protocols. And I know that's not right, because it's going to tell me the name on how to do the name. And then you just come in here and you type. If you watch the video, it will tell you how to create the name so that the name generates. Then you just type your information that you want. If you use a link, this is the one and only place that I use a tiny URL is in my emails. So if you're going to use a link to your website, create a tiny URL and put it in here. Otherwise, you're going to get a high spam rate.
Okay.
And then after
is there a list somewhere of these variables, like for name?
When you watch this video, it will tell you.
Oh, okay, it's in the video. The list is.
Yep. It tells you in the video. The video is very short on how to, how exactly to do it and what it needs to do. It's just been so long since I've created my emails. But once you get finished, then it gives you the option to preview. It tells you the max to send on how to do it. You see your preview. When you do your preview, it actually gives you a spam count. And then if you don't like your spam count, you can go in and fix it. It doesn't tell you, it gives you a list of why you get a high spam count. So you can go in and try to fix it, if you need to. Usually what I do is most of the people I'm sending it to have already filled out my information. They've already filled out my magnets. So once they fill out that magnet, like I was telling you last week, that gives you permission to send them emails unless they tell you to stop. Right. So once you fill out, care what your spam rate is, once they fill out that magnet, that gives you permission. They have given you permission to send them emails. So even though it's a high spam rate, it will still go to them. It's the new people that you manually put in that if you send them an email and it's a high spam rate, it's automatically going to go to their junk mail. Yeah. So then you either have to text them and say, hey, I just sent you an email. Please accept it out of spam. If they don't do that, it will stay in spam for the 30 days and then it will go away. And then you will start getting a red, it's color coded saying that they never picked up the email. And that's the reason is because it's in spam. So you want to make sure that if it's a new student or a new prospect that you're sending an email to, that you send them a text and let them know you're sending them an email and to please check their spam for it. Once they accept it into their folder, then they will automatically start getting your emails no matter what your spam rate is. But until then, it will go to spam. So, and then once you do that, you will click send. And it will ask you, yeah, I know. And then it will say what list. And you always want to make sure you've labeled your list. I got mine for my PBS students, my Scipio. I got them for my my wine list, people that signed up for my wine magnet. So all of these are magnets that I've created. And I'll just click on whoever I want it to go to, the list of emails that I've created. Then you set your date. They do have a time limit on Response Magic. I think it's after 3 or 4 o'clock p.m. They will not send it out until the next day, that next morning. So if you want something to go out that day, that's why I always say I do everything on Sunday evenings. So I'll come in here on Sunday and I'll get all my stuff situated. Okay, I want to send out my Tuesday emails. I set my date. I want it to go out Monday night or Monday morning. At such and such a time, and I'll change the date and send it to all the contacts I have checked. Then I'll go back up there again and change it to I'll go get my next email broadcast, pull it up, put my date in there that I want to send it out for Wednesday. I want it to go out on Tuesday. Put that in there. The one for Paul's, I want it for Thursday. I want it to go out on Wednesday evening or Thursday morning to remind people. So I'll put that in there so that it goes out. So you can go ahead and schedule when you want all your emails to go out at one swoop. And then that way you're not coming in. But you do have to schedule them every week. It's not where you can say, I want it to go out on this date every week. You can't do that with Response Magic. You have to come in and manually set your scheduled date every week. But once you've created those emails, they're here. So I can come in here and look at my saved emails, and there's all my saved emails. And then if I want to send it, I can just click send, and then it'll do the same thing. I clicked on send, and it asks me where I want to send it. Then I can send my date. So once you've created the email, you don't have to create it again. It's there in your saved emails, and you can just click which ones you want to go out, when you want to go out. The only time is when you want to create a new email. So if I come here and look at my my saved emails, and if I want to pull it up to see how it looks, so there's how you're supposed to do the name. So you do hello, you do the squiggly line, the first name, and then that way, whenever you put the email in, it will automatically generate the name associated with that email. So it's not like every person's going to get everybody's email. It will go specifically to that one person.
Okay, but you have to use those squiggle lines.
Yeah. Just like that. If it's not exactly, and that's the good thing about the preview, look at the preview, because the preview will show you how your email shows up, and it will use a generic name. So if you look at it and it still shows that squiggly line first names, and that means you got a space somewhere that shouldn't be there, because that's exactly how they're going to see it. So if you
have that squiggly line on my keyboard.
Yes, you do. It's beside your one. It's the first one. If you have
your okay.
Yeah.
It's the key all by itself. I see it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So make sure that when you do your preview in your email, you look at that name carefully, and it has a name in there and not what you typed in. It should have a name. It'll be a random name, or it might, sometimes they use just generic names so that you can see that there's a name in there because you haven't sent the email list yet. Right. So you want to make sure that there's a name that shows up and not what you typed. Okay. So, and then once you've created your list, you can send out your emails. So that's how you would go in and create it. But always, like I said, watch those videos. They explain everything in detail, and make notes if you have to, or just every time you get ready to send out something, you can go in there. If you need to edit your message, you can go in and edit it when you're in here, just like I had to go in and edit the phone number for the Tuesday and Wednesday night calls. Roy changed the phone number because he got a bigger phone box. So we, had to go in and edit that. So you can go in and edit and save it without creating a whole new email. So that's how you can go in.
So is that how you get rid of a higher spam rating? You got to go in and edit your email somehow?
Yeah, if you get a high spam rating, because as soon as you hit your preview, when you're creating it, it will give you your spam rate.
Yeah, it's got a pop-up box.
Yeah, so you just go in, make sure, you have to undo your pop-up blocker for Response Magic so you can see everything. So go in and look at your spam rate. Most of the time, if you get a high spam rate, you have an email, not an email, you have a link in there. That's why I always say use a tiny URL. Or like with me, the first time I did it, and I had my times broken down. It was like Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, had my time frame, my phone number. When I had it broken down like that, I got a really high spam count. Don't know why. I don't know if it just didn't like it broken down. But once I took all the space.
Hey, Stan.
Hello? Oh, once I took out all the spacing and had all that in 1 or 2 lines, then my spam rate went down. So sometimes it doesn't like the spacing, and you'll get a high spam rate. Did I lose anybody?
No.
Okay.
Do you know if there's a limitation to how many recipients you can have?
For the free account, I think it's 100.
Okay.
Yeah. And I saw in the chat room somebody was asking how you can go in. You can actually delete people in your Response Magic. So you can pull up your email list that you have, and if you see that they're all red, that they haven't picked up, then you can, what I do is I got them in a Excel spreadsheet. So I just add them to my Excel spreadsheet, and then you can delete that name out of your Response Magic, and that will save room for you to add somebody else. Now you can pay to get a bigger Response Magic box. I think it's monthly or yearly fee. I can't remember. But once you hit that 100 quota, it'll tell you, like mine's maxed out. I personally can't add anybody, but people can come in. That's why I send it to my students. I tell them to go in and add, because they can add as many people as you can. You personally just can't add but up to 100. So my mailbox might be full that I personally can add, but I can send that link to people and say, hey, go in and sign up for my Response Magic, and it will add them in there. But I can't personally add anymore. I'm at my max limit that I can personally add. But now, like I said, I can send that link that I showed you in my Platinum, and I send it to all my students. When I send my student information sheet, that link's in there for them to go to Response Magic right here. And I have it highlighted. Go to this Response Magic and sign up. Your first email will go to your spam, mark it not spam, and then it'll start coming regularly. but they can go in and sign up on their own and it won't block them. If I go in and try to sign up a student, it will tell me my mailbox is maxed out. I got to upgrade. But now they can go in and sign up all day long, and I still have access to it. So that's one way to work around when your mailbox gets full.
And now, when it grabs the first name from your list, isn't your list a bunch of emails?
They have bots that will associate that name with whatever email. If they have, like with you, however you set your email account up, that email is still associated with the name. Some people have, weird names that they put there because they don't want people, that whatever name is associated with that email, that's the name that will show up. So if they have Wow Thing as their name and their email actually has the name, then the email would say, hello, Wow Thing, blah, 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 so it will associate, it has a bot, just like a computer program, to find the name associated with that email. But that's all it will do. It won't do anything but a name. And usually it's just the first name.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, so are we good right there on Response Magic? So just remember, there's 2 Response Magic.
How do you get this thing to post to your widget I tried to put it in there as a widget on my blog page.
Okay. So when you go, after you've created, that's the other thing. A lot of people don't know how to find their magnets. They'll lose it and it's like, oh, where do I go and create another one? Whenever you create one, Response Magic saves it. So if you go here under number 3, under review, you see where it says customer magnets. This is where all of your magnets, if you've created 10 because they didn't look good or you like, I didn't like it, Mr. Somebody, here's where they are, every one of them. So all you have to do is click, and if it's like, okay, I really don't want that one, I know it was messed up, then just hit delete, it gets rid of it. But you want to make sure it's not one that you have out there that you're marketing, because if you delete it, then they'll come in and they won't be able to do anything because you've deleted the magnet. But here's where you got all your magnets are. So then all you have to do is get your code. So we're going to go here and get this one. This is one I have in my system. And there's 3 different codes here. These 2 codes are your squeeze page links. These are the codes that you market, that you send to people to come and sign up. You can do it in your free advertising. You can do it in your social media. You can put it in your Facebook pages. You can put it in your YouTube links. You can put it in your classified for free. Yes.
That's associated with your platinum side?
Yeah. No, this is your Response Magic.
So this is not anything to do with your affiliate?
No, This is where they can come in and sign up. This is your lead generator. So this is if you want to market it and say, hey, I need some more people to come into my website and see what I'm doing. So you can market this, and I'll let you see what mine looks like. So it has vertical and horizontal. So I will click on this one, and this is what I've sent out. I've got ads set up. So this is what people see. I have a video for Valentis that they can see, and then if they like what they see, they register with their information and click Learn More. When they click Learn More, it takes them to my Valentis page in my website. But now that they've filled this information out, it's also in my lead generator in Response Magic. So when I go to my lead generator for my weight loss, their name and address will be there so that I can start dripping on them for information. I can send them links for Wednesday nights and Tuesday nights calls, and send them information if I get new information that I want to send them. But this is the important thing right here, is here's my opt-in form that tells them, hey, by you filling this out, you've given Sheila Matchett permission to send you emails in the future. That's how you get around all of that spam information, is that by them filling this out, they've given you permission to send them emails no matter what the spam count is. So that's the good thing about this, but this is what I market. Now,
You
for your
also have to put that last sentence there. I understand I can opt out at any time.
opt out, yep. But that's already generated when you create your magnet. So don't ever mess with that information. Just make sure your name's spelled correctly. That's the only thing you need to do. So here's your code. So once you copy this code all the way down, you're going to copy it, and then you're going to go to your website, and you're going to go to widgets, and and placement is key. I know a lot of people just like, oh, I'll put it anywhere. Placement is key. You want to make sure that you put it below your search. If you don't have Google AdSense, that's fine, but you put it below your search. And then you want to put it on your left of menu and your right of menu. And because it's an HTML, you want to do a custom HTML, or you can do a text. I always do text because it's just easier. So then you're going to do your text, and it's going to ask you where you want to put it, and just put your check mark wherever you want it to go. And then you're going to click add widget. I'm not going to add mine because it's already there. And when you click your add your widget, it's going to put that text wherever it, the last one. So when it's here, a lot of people will automatically paste it here. As you can see, this is visual. When you post it in visual and you go back to your website, guess what you're going to see? That code. You don't want to see that code. You want to see actually what you created. So you need to go to your text side, which is in code. Text is always placed in code. So this is where you're going to paste your code, and it's going to show up in code. Now, the way you can see if it is correct, you go to your visual side, and it will show you exactly what you have in there. All right. Make sure you hit save. If you do not hit save, it will not save it. So you hit your save, and once you hit save, then you hit done. And once you hit done, you go back to your website, and your magnet should be there. Okay. So once I do that.
One of the biggest things in college I constantly forgot to do is save my work. I have to redo work so much in college.
Yep. So always make sure you hit save and done. Don't just hit save. Yep. And done. Don't just hit save and then go out. Hit save and done. That makes it stay. And then wherever you've placed it, that's where it should show up. Like this one is the one I did for my coffee. And I've actually linked it. I got where they can go in and do my Valentis tour. So here's the one exactly the way I want it to look. And it's in the exact right place. Now, like I said, when you open up that text box, it's going to be on the very bottom. So if you want it somewhere else, just drag it to where you want it to be. And it should be right up under your search if you do not have Google AdSense. Now, as you can see, I got a blank one up here. I'm in edit. So it's showing me that I have a placeholder. That placeholder is for my Google AdSense. So Google AdSense is always first.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So, and then you want your search. Always search. They should have the ability to search your website. And then you want your response magic code right here. Did that answer your question?
They make these up for different pages too. Different response code makeup.
You can only do two. You can do a different one on your home on the right side as you do on the left side. The right side goes through your whole website. The left side shows only on your home page. So you can do up to two. You can't do one for each page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can only do two. However, I have made several different ones that I market because I use that squeeze link all the time. So when I do marketing, not only do I market my website, but I also market my squeeze link, and I'll tell them, sign up for this, to get more information. And then that way I have a new lead that I can promote either my wine, my Valentis, send them new pages I've created, send out new newsletters that I do. Anything that I have access to that I think is important that I want my new people to see that have not signed up with anything, then I have permission to send them these emails. So that's the other thing is you can create as many as you want to. Sometimes I'll come through and cycle these out. Like this one right now is Valentis, because Valentis is really big. When Christmas comes along, or, you know, a big holiday, or like when school, I have one that's for school related stuff. I'll be like, okay, get ready to get your school shopping started. You know, and I'll have them sign up. And then once they sign up and they're under my school registry, I'll send them all the links or all the pages I've created about getting school clothes, school backpacks, pencils, supplies. I'll send them all of that stuff. You know, send them emails for the pages I've created for them to go and do online shopping for back to school stuff. Or I'll let them know, hey, back to school sales is happening, blah, 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 blah. Come check it out. And then by then I'll have a whole section that says back to school. And I'll have all my different pages with my blogs and links to back to school shopping. So you can create these and change them out depending, just like you would do anything else based on your seasons. So that
explains why you had a whole list of them, because you can change them out.
I can change them out. Yeah. And it keeps your page fresh. It keeps your stuff updated, but you can also use it to market. And that's the key thing is marketing your website. You can't get traffic if people don't know where you are. And the only way they're going to know where you are is to market. That's why your social media is important. That's why your free ads are important. That's why you want to make sure that your pages are complete. The other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to send people to your website if your website is not monetized for you. If you still have Rory's links in there, who knows how many people you've had and you don't know that shopped you because you can't keep up with it because you still have Rory's links in there.
Right.
So I always tell my students, the number one thing you should do is make sure you change all your links. I don't care if you don't modify it yet, get those links changed because your site is live the minute you get it. Whether you mark it or not, it's still searchable on Google.
Okay.
It's just linked to Rory. So get those out and get yours in. Once you get all your links modified, you can do all your links in a day if you have that kind of time. You can do it in a weekend. Then come back and do your modifications a page at a time or 2 pages at a time. I always say if you can do 2 pages a day, you'll have your system finished in a week. If you can do more, that's fine. But get those links changed because you can't advertise until it's changed. Right. So get those links changed. Then you can advertise your pages because your page is not going to change, just your content. So get those links changed first and foremost, always, because then you can advertise your website and know that anybody that comes there is going to see you, going to see your links, and then you're going to see your work in progress. If not, they could click on Rory's link and Rory's going to get credit for it. And then they're going to think that that's Rory's page. And the next thing you know, they'll be searching for Rory's information instead of you. So always make sure that your links are changed first and foremost. Okay. Then you can market your website. And that's the key thing is you want to get your website marketed as fast as possible. All right.
How can you let friends come in without like advertising with your setup to go?
Yes.
You know, how can you just send your website to them?
Yep. Like mine's 5e95.com. If I know that all I've done was change my links, I haven't done any original content, I'm on social media. I will call, put out on Facebook, hey, I got a new website. Y'all go look at it. Knowing that I'm still going to be in there doing stuff. When I create a new page, I put it out on social media. Got a new page, guys. Y'all need to come look at it. Things like that. When you go to the classifieds for free, the classified ads, usnetads.com, AbleWise, Instagram, what's some of the other ones? Tumblr, Twitter, all those places that you advertise to. You want to advertise the pages, individual pages. You can market your total website. You just got to make sure you let them know, hey, come check out my new website, see if there's anything interesting that you like. I advertise individual pages because then once they get there, that page is going to pull up, but it's also going to pull up my category menu where they can see, oh, she's got other things and shop my menu section. Or if they see something they like or interested in, but they don't see something specific, they can come over here and search a keyword and see if I have it. And if they don't, which I tell them here, if you don't see something that you like, let me know. Fill out this form and I'll get on it. So, and I check this about once a week. I go in to see who's new, and I'll send out an email, say, thank you for visiting my site. What can I do? Is there anything in specific you were looking for? If you didn't find it, let me know, and I'll see if I can find it. I have that as a bulk email, and I'll send it to all the new prospects. And trust me, I get people to say, hey, I didn't see this on your site. Do you have it? Then I will go to all of my sites at marketing houses and see if I have access to that particular product or product similar to it. And if I do, I create a page and I let them know, yes, I do have it now. Here's where you can find it. And I send them the page link. So these are important.
Let me ask you a real quick question here. Sheila, you was talking about when people fill that out, how it goes to your email address, correct?
No, it goes back to your Response Magic. So when you go to Response Magic, wherever you set that magnet up, you got your email list.
Okay.
All right. So I can go here to my email list and see, here's my email list. And if I go to, let's just check my students. Where's my students? Like if I come here to my PBS students, I can click here for my contact list. So here's my students. And see, it tells me all of them's green. So everybody's picked up my emails I've sent them. See, this one's gone gray. They've dropped them. The ones that are yellow, they haven't picked up in a while. And I know why they haven't picked up.
Whoa, I know somebody there.
I know you're talking about, and the reason she hadn't picked up was we communicate differently now. But but yeah, so you can see that they have all their information here. When they sign up, they fill out their information. So this is why I send them. As you can see, I've got my information. This is where they are. If I go to another one, email list, and see that one, like let's look at my Scipio leads. Here's people on Scipio. These people never did.
Scipio?
That's another lead generator. That's something I'm in that costs me $100 a month. And it's really good. I like it, but I don't use it as often as I need to. But as you can see, there's some people that have not picked up. This right here means that I need to send them. I've already sent them an email, but they still haven't picked up yet. The ones that are in green, they've picked up. They've read my email, so I send them stuff anyway all the time. But these are people that have actually filled out my magnet. I did not put them in there. They filled it out themselves. So that's yes.
That little orange, right there. What's with the little letter or the little?
That means I've sent them an email.
Is that what you have to send a thing and say, hey, you didn't pick it up because it went to spam? Okay.
Yeah. And it tells me I've already sent them one. The yellow means that they've sent one. I need to confirm that they've received it. If they don't, eventually it will turn red. And once it turns red or turns gray, which means that I'm not sending them anything anymore, then I can come here and hit delete. I can just select and hit delete. And then that frees up space for me to add other people. If it's full. So that's how you can come in and when you create your opt-in form, it will ask you, where do you want these people to go? And you will select an email list. Some of it says, already selected because it already has one that it's made for you, or you can create your own email list and have them go there. So it just depends on where you send them. And then you just come in here and check your email list and see who's in there. And if you got people in there, then you make sure that you go through and, let them know, hey, thank you for signing up. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you or any specific things that you're looking for, just so that you can keep them engaged. Eventually, I promise you, they'll become a customer.
Okay.
So I noticed on some of these that you don't have your information, your personal information in there.
You don't have to. You don't have to. And some of them I don't use because I was still learning. I probably need to go in here and clean some of this out. But most of the ones, yeah, you're fine because I come in here, but usually the ones that I have associated, that just means that once they click on it, that's the link it sends them to once they finish.
A question on that one with the yellow dots and the envelope still in the yellow dots.
Yep.
Your email list.
Mm-hmm.
If it got still got the mail in the yellow dot, that means they haven't answered or looked at it or nothing, huh?
Right.
It could be in their junk folder.
Exactly. And
so can you text them and tell them that? Because you got their phone number there.
Yep, you sure can. And that's usually what I do. And like I said, a lot of times they still won't answer because one time, most of the time, if those of you that are on the call lines, a lot of people are like, how did you get my number? Where did it come from? Because they forget they filled out this form. So they will never answer. They will never answer my text.
Strange numbers. I've got a lot of friends. If it's a strange number, they won't answer.
Yeah. So they may never pick it up, and eventually it will turn red. Right now it's in yellow. Eventually it will turn red. Once it turns red, I usually go in and delete them. But I do have a spreadsheet that I have that has all their numbers on it, and I have them in my Scipio account and with their text number that I still drip on them every once in a while. About once a month, I'll send them a text out, about a new program or about Valentis or about the wine, or tell them to jump on, like with the Tuesday night call, jump on Tuesday night call and listen about our new amazing program that we have. So it's not that I totally forget them. I just don't try to use email with them.
Okay.
Jill, I have a question.
Yes.
Hi, going back to the magnets, when you say just maximum of 2 of the response magic magnets for collecting email addresses and phone numbers and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I know one on the homepage obviously is a great idea right now for Valentis. If I were to want to do one for Direct Sellers Wine Club memberships, would it make sense to go under like the Valentis, say, coffee and wine page and then add it on that one? Or
well, the thing about it is when you do this, like this is only on my homepage.
Okay.
Now, if I go to Arts and Entertainment, there's going to be a different one there.
Okay.
That's wine.
Right. Okay, I see.
Yeah, and so this one will be on every page other than the home page. So if I go to clothing and entertainment, that's why I said you can only do 2 in your website.
Right.
It's the same thing. So
okay.
So you can only do 2. I had one student, they had one under the other, and I was like, no, you don't want to do that. Don't have 2 multiple magnets on the same page. So you can.
Those are considered magnets, the address getter.
Yeah, these are considered your magnets, and that's exactly what it is. It's a magnet on your page that draws traffic. It's a lead generator is basically what it is. But you can have 2. You can have one on your homepage, which will be just on your homepage, and then which is the left side of your content, and then on your right side goes to every other page in your system.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can have 2. Just got to make sure which ones you want to show up. That's why I said I change mine out periodically. They still usually have the same content. If it's usually wine and Valentis, because those are 2 big markets right now. But I will do one for back to school for people to come, and I'll have it linked for back to school shopping, or just direct them, hey, get ready for your back to school shopping here, and it will have their lead generator. But when they click here, it will actually go to my web page that I'll create for back to school. I don't have it here now. It's actually in draft, and whenever it's out of back to school shopping starts, I'll put it back in my menu category and update all the ads in there. Same thing with Christmas. I do Christmas the same way. I'll take the article out, put it in draft. Then when Christmas shopping gets around, I'll take it out of draft, update all the ads in there, and then put it back in my menu. And then I'll have a magnet just for Christmas shopping.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Good questions. Okay. Now, are we
One
good
more.
on? Yes.
You can still propagate email list without posting this response magic widget on your website to that widget, right? By using maybe your 90-day thing from Valentis. Can you use those leads and not necessarily have it posted on a website, just use it to get email list?
Yeah, that's what your squeeze is for. So when you go to your customer magnet and you see the squeeze link, that's what you would advertise just to get customers or get your information. Now, the 90-day Valentis, we do not use those. Those are specifically for Valentis, and you need to follow the protocols that Rory has set up. Don't use them for anything other than that unless he tells us otherwise.
So that is a must post on your webpage.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
You have to have that magnet on your webpage. That is a must.
Okay.
Not only, Rory wants to make sure it's on there, but if you apply for Google AdSense, they want to see that you have a way to generate customer leads.
Right.
So you need that on there. Yes, definitely.
Sheila, can you just go over that? Valentis doesn't want you to what?
No, that's for the 90-day leads. You haven't done that yet. You're not in that yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're good. Yeah, you're good. All right. So the next thing we're going to go over is changing.
Sheila?
Yes.
And I don't mean to interrupt, but while we're on Response Magic, I just have one more question.
Okay.
And that's at one point when we put the Response Magic on the either the homepage and or the other pages, it was said that you couldn't have, you needed to leave space after the widget because that was used for different other devices.
Yes, a lot of people, because it is so long, when you.
But has that changed? Because they have it working on the mobile devices differently now.
Yeah, and I've talked to Response Magic because I said, we have all this extra space in our magnets when we create it, and they said it was a glitch in our web system. It wasn't a glitch in their system. I don't know. Everybody's blaming everybody. I don't worry about it. But a lot of people, even I did it, when you go to create your magnet, let's go back and I'll show you. There's all this extra space between your last wording and the actual end of the widget. And so when you look at it, without all this here, you would have this opt-in information, and then you would have all this empty space right here, and then it would get to powered by Response Magic. And so what I did was I went in and I took out all the extra space and made it look more presentable, made it shorter. But then there was a problem. When you clicked on it, and it wouldn't go to the page I want it to go to. So me being me, I put everything in code to find out why. And what it is there's actually coding all through here that directs them to make sure they go to where I want them to go. So me being me, I didn't like all that extra space. So I actually came back in here and created this in the extra space without messing up my code. And all you have to do is, if you want to do that, you got your extra space, you just click your add media, make sure your cursor's where you want it to be. Click your add media, and it's just like putting.
Hey, Sheila. There you are.
We lost you.
I lost you. Okay. I thought it was awful quiet. So, since I didn't like all that extra space, I just went in and followed the protocols that were there. You just put your cursor wherever you want it, hit add media. That way you can add a video, you can add a picture in that extra space without it messing up the coding, because then it will go in and place it where the coding's not without messing up your information. And then
so you do that here, not on when you're making up your
widget. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Now on the widget, you can still do it on the widget, but it will not show up here on your code. You actually have to put it in the code. Now it will show up on your squeeze magnet, but it will not show up in your widget. Don't know why that is. The code is in there, but for whatever reason it will not. And I think it has to do with the coding of the actual website. But you can go in and add media to this, and because you're putting it in the visual side, it will put it exactly where it needs to without messing up your code.
Huh.
So then you can come in and you can link it. You can put a link in here. You can, link your picture just like you do with any other link on any other page. And then that way, once they go in there, I can click here, take the tour. They can click it and go straight to my Valentis. You can actually link your picture to the web page if you want to, for them to go and read your Valentis page, however you want to do it. But then that way, your spacing is still there for your code. And when they click it, they can go to exactly where you want them to go to.
So you do it in visual instead of text?
Yeah.
Okay.
You put your code in text, but when you go to modify it, you do it in visual.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go to color. So let's go. And since I'm on my home page, a lot of people don't know where to edit your home page. Your home page is actually a custom link. So you won't have your edit at the top like you do with the regular page. This is actually a post. So your edit is going to be at the bottom. So when you go to the bottom of this individual post, this one's kind of long. I got to do some modifications to this. There's your edit. Okay. So you're going to click your edit at the bottom of the page, and this will pull up your post. And as you can see, it says post. I'm editing a post. Remember, all posts go on home page in reverse chronological order. So we're going to come to our post, and because this is in block, once I click on my block, it's going to convert to my block size. Now, since I don't have any color, whoever's talking in the background, please mute yourself. We hear conversation.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. All right, so say I want to change this color, and I want to colorize a word. Well, since it's in block, I can't colorize just a phrase, but I can colorize this paragraph. So you see over here where it's got your color settings? You just click on that, and it gives me the option, do I want to change my text color? I can change the text color, but it changes the whole paragraph. Or I can change my background color. And I can, there's my background color. It's changed. And then I can play around with this. Say I want to do a drop cap, make my first letter really big. But I can't change my coloring. So then I will come back here, make sure my drop cap stays. And then I will update this. But now let's say I wanted to do, now if I come back here and I want to highlight something, then this color will no longer be black. It will change it to blue, whatever color that is. But say I wanted to come back here, like this one is red. If I wanted to highlight this and before, because this was in Classic, I did this in Classic, so it stayed prior to. If I went back and tried to link this now, it would automatically change it to blue. I want to put this
one at the end of one, like disappeared where it went, but it was below your link.
That's why I moved my picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, because now it's got my Facebook link all together, whereas before my picture was too big and it put it down here.
Okay.
So now that's why I wanted to move my picture a little bit. So now all my wording is together.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, all right, and then there's my little, and if I wanted to, I can actually come back here and, if I want to link this, I can link it. But say I wanted to do an individual color. So what I would do is, as you can see, this is my most used. So anything I use a lot of will be here. If you have not set that up and you want to use your Classic, so you will go to Element Layouts. Not, is it that one? No, Formatting. Formatting, and there's your Classic block. So you would do a Classic block, and it will pull up like this. All right, and since I want to do, we will do a header first. And you want to always make sure anything in your paragraph, anything in your writing, it's either a header 2 or a header 3. You don't want a heading 1 in your writing because your title is a heading 1, and you will get a message from Google saying that you did that. They don't want you to do that. So then I want to change my color. So I go to my color text and I pick a color, and then I can just go in and start typing. And what do I want to say here? Okay, and then I can center this if I want to. And since I'm in classic block, I'm going to keep writing, and it's going to automatically jump to paragraph. So I got my header, and I want to revert back to black. So right. So that's just something funny I put in there. So I want to highlight this right here. And so I want to use that as a color code. I want to color those wording. So I can just come back in here and color that. And I can bold it if I want to. The only thing is if I come back after I put this in, convert it to blocks, and I want to use that same phrase and link it, it will no longer be purple. It'll turn blue automatically. So whenever you highlight a word or phrase, just remember that you want to make sure it's not going to be a word or phrase you're going to link, because it will automatically turn it blue. Now, I know I'm not going to link my title.
Even if you link it right here,
you
it will still turn blue?
You can't link it in Classic. They took that option away.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, still got the stuff
I see the
up
paper
above.
clip up there. That's why.
Yeah. It will allow you to put a link in there, but it will not save it.
Oh. Well, it shouldn't let you put it in there if it's not going to allow you to save it.
Yeah, it will. You can put it in there. You can link it all day, but the minute you go to save it, it will go away. It will not save it. They took that option away. I wish they hadn't, because then that way your colors would stay with your link in Classic. But now it will not allow you to link in Classic. So, yeah, I can pull up all kind of links. Let's get this out, and I'll show you. Excuse me.
Didn't you put in your Mama Chief in something in red just above? We were just talking about that, and
it is, and the reason it is because when I had my system, all we had was Classic. So anything we done prior to the block format, we got to keep. But
that's
anything
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anything going forward, it has to be this way. So you can see I can come here. I can open in a new link. I can update. And it looks like it stayed.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute I go to convert to blocks, it's going to go away. Oh, it didn't that
No,
time.
it didn't.
That would be
All right,
wonderful if it didn't, if it stayed. So let's hit our update.
Oh, yeah,
Let's hit our update and see if it stayed. That would be awesome. We just figured something out if that stays. And it could just be because my original page was in Classic that it might let me do it in Classic.
Huh.
So we're getting ready to find out.
Yep.
All right, so let's go to preview and see if that link stayed. If it did, we discovered something. We're going to have to post to everybody.
I never get my preview to come up. It never generates.
Okay, which preview are you using?
What you just clicked on.
Okay, so here's that. Let's see if it goes to where I want it to go. If it does, I'm excited. Yes, it did. Hallelujah. We figured something out today.
Wait, go over it again.
Yeah, really.
So if your page is originally done in Classic, apparently you can go back to Classic and add a link. But if it's a brand new page, if it's a brand new page that you're creating from scratch, you cannot link Classic. But if your page was originally done in Classic and you use a Classic block, you can link it and your color stays. So we just discovered something today. Hallelujah. Who asked that question? I'm going to give you credit. All right. So,
And you did change it, you know how you, on those three little dots, and then
yes.
It's still,
because it's right now, as you can see, it is in block form.
okay.
So, but your page originally had to be in Classic. So what we're discovering is that when you come to edit a page and it has Classic across the top and you convert it to block, if you use a Classic block, then it looks like you can change your color and it should stay. That's amazing.
Right.
All right, Sheila, I've got one quick question.
Okay, wait a minute. I got to answer his. He said that you cannot get it to preview. Okay. So when you go to your update, and do you hit, let's hit update. Now, do you hit this view post or the preview up here?
That preview up there, yeah, I hit that. And it goes to that Volkswagen looking symbol, but it doesn't come out with a picture. It just sits and spins.
Okay. Go and make sure that you have all of your updates complete. Not necessarily your big one, but make sure that your themes and your plugins are updated.
Okay.
That could be the reason that it's not allowing you to preview, because this preview will open up in a new tab. This view post will open up right over the one that you're working in.
Yeah, they had a lot of problems with my page. It did a lot of 404 errors and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So they're working it.
Yeah, good. That might be another issue, is that there's something wrong with your coding too. If that's the case that's coming up, if it's in with Matt, he'll fix it. But also when you get it back, just make sure when you go to your updates, check and make sure all your plugins and all your themes are updated.
Sheila, a question about those the themes.
Mm-hmm.
I know I think, anyway, it's kind of a question, we're supposed to use the Leslie theme. Do we update all the others too, just to have everything updated on our system?
Yes, and the reason we use Leslie theme as a general overall, but we also have access to those other themes. That's what allows us to make our pages so unique, is that we do use the Leslie theme as a whole, but we also have incorporated those other themes in with the Leslie theme. So you want to make sure you update all of them.
Okay, thank you, because I did not, so I better do that.
Same thing with your plugins. Make sure those are the only plugins that we allow in our system. We don't put manual plugins in. Those are the plugins that allow you to use your system to its optimal form. So make sure all of those are updated. All your themes are updated. We do not allow outside plugins to come in, because a lot of times a company will come in and say, put this plugin in your system. If you do that, that allows them to come into your system. And we don't want to do that, because then you can have hackers come in through it. You can have them come in and alter your website without you knowing it. They can put in their own ads in there without you knowing it. So you do not want to, that's why we don't give that access. You can buy a website that gives you, that allows you access. You're going to pay about $600 because I had one that you can add different plugins. The thing about that is, and yes, they do. I had one company that it came in every time they had a sale and they came into my website and they would post it all over my website. So you don't want them to have, you don't want anybody but you and your creator to have access to your website like that. And so that's why when you got your system, you know, your cost was really low. It's because we don't have a lot of the bells and whistles, the big, the $600 websites come with, because we don't need it. We don't accept money on our websites. So we don't need the security that a lot of the other websites have. We don't take personal information unless they authorize it, which is our magnet that's over there. And they read it. It tells, you know, you have information that you want to put on here. That's why I say be very careful with what you put on that magnet, because you can go into some security issues with that. So you want to keep it very general, very, very basic on that. And then the other thing is we don't want other people to have access to that. You can even add comments. If you notice, you actually have permission with the new block system to let people comment on your web page. Be very cautious with that, because you can have people that will put negative comments on your page that will actually cause people to turn away. So you want to make sure that you keep your page as simple as possible with as much content and relevancy as you can get in there. But you don't want to give too many people access to your pages.
Well, let me tell you what I discovered here just yesterday, I guess it was, that my Cox.net, somebody went in there and changed my email to Jim.
Yeah, you was telling me about that.
Jim.Phillips.80. And they changed, and I said, how could you do that? And Cox said they're going to look into that to see who that was and how they managed to do it. He said, well, are you sure it wasn't somebody playing a joke? And so I went straight to my boyfriend. I said, Lane, did you do that as a joke? He said, no, I would not do anything like that. I said, okay.
Yeah, it could be hacked, you know, because I got an email from, I forgot who it was, one of my affiliates on a strange email that said that my system had been hacked and I need to go in and change. And I immediately went to my account and sent them an email saying, hey, did you send this email out? And they was like, oh, no, we didn't. And I was like, I figured I didn't because I didn't recognize the email that it came from. So you have to be very careful when you do get something like that you don't just immediately go in. You have ways through your back office to contact your affiliates and let them know, hey, did you send this out? And they will let you know if they did or didn't. If they say, no, we didn't, don't change anything. Don't do anything without either getting with the instructor or whoever sent you the link. Contact them through your back office to see if they actually sent it before you change anything, because there are hackers out there. And now's the time for them to do it because they're trying to get money for summer. And then you're going to see another influx of it towards the end of August and September, people looking for money for holidays. So just be very cautious of that. So that's, we went through the email color change. Trello's the next one. I
have a quick question though.
Okay.
Here we go again. Remember, I have a new page, and I did a title, permalink, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to save it, and it says updating failed.
Yeah, don't worry about where it says the update. That's the automatic update. All you need to do is where you have your draft. When you're creating a new page, you will have it where it says save as draft. Click on the save as draft.
I did.
And it said update failed?
That's what it's saying right now.
Okay.
Where is this?
Then you need to make sure, and it's good, just let it sit for a minute and then come back. If it's still doing that, you need to shut down your system and make sure that you have all your updates done.
Okay.
Because I know Yoast came out with a new one, and I think some of the themes came out with a new one. So make sure all your updates are updated, and then come back and do that. And I also know that Matt and Roy are doing some updates on some of the servers. They're actually adding new servers because we've gotten so much bigger. So that's the other thing, is that you want to, depending on what server you're on, your system could be down or acting a little wonky if they're working in your area on a server that's, got your information on it.
Will I lose all of it? Well, it's
No.
not a lot, but
No, you shouldn't lose it. I wouldn't, if it said it failed to save, then I would copy your information that you have, everything copy. Yeah. Right. Copy it and put it on a Word document or a notes document so that you have it in case it didn't save. But before you shut down, I would try to, save it as a draft. If it doesn't save it a draft, go ahead and publish it. You can always come back later and switch it to draft.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah. That way, at least it's in your system and you can find it. But then, once it comes back up, then just go back and hit switch back to draft, because you haven't done anything with it. You haven't advertised it. So it's still sitting there. It's still brand new. So once it comes back up, if you've published it and you're like, well, I'm not finished with it, then switch it back to draft and then you'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, your menu, the way you get your menu is actually based on your pages. So whenever you get to your pages, you want to create your page first. If you know you want that page to be a menu topic, then you want to make sure that that page is in all caps. The title is in all caps. And then you only want to do blurbs, do like with mine with clothing. You want to put plus size clothing. You want to do intimates and apparels. You want to do costume clothing or costume and Halloween, travel clothing, fashion wear, so you're going to have your little indexes and then you're going to put little blurbs with it. Then once you get those done, you're not going to have pages on it quite yet because you haven't created your pages. Or if you have created your pages, then you want to make sure you link the page to that little blurb, not your affiliate, because you want them to go to the page. So then once you've done that, you're going to go to your menu, and your menu has a section over to the left of it that shows you every page you've created. So if you know for a fact that that page is what you want to use as a menu item, then that's what you're going to put. Like this one is one I just created, Cute Babies and Our Kids. So I'm going to click on that and I want to add it to my menu. So you click Add to Menu. Okay. So since I've added it to my menu structure, it's going to put it at the very bottom of my menu structure. Okay. So it is right here at the very bottom.
You ain't the bottom yet. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. All right. And it put it as a main category. So if you know it's a main category, then it would be in all caps. All right. I don't want this as a main category, but I do want it on my menu structure. So if you have it as a main category, then it's automatically going to put it as a main category at the bottom of your menu structure. So depending on how your menu structure is arranged, mine's in alphabetical order. Most people's are. Some people have arranged it based on categories, based on how they want it indexed. So you can arrange your menu however you want to. I just left mine in alphabetical order. It just made it easier to follow. So the only drawback to your menu category is you have to drag everything to where you want it. So after you've created your page, you saved it, it has to be published before it shows up in there. Then you click on that page, you save it to your menu structure or add it to your menu structure. You come to the bottom of it, and then if you want it to be a category, it has to be indexed all the way to the left side. Then it becomes a main menu category structure. If you want it to be a substructure, which this one's going to be, then you're going to move it to your main category. This one's going to go under my children, kids. Where? So I'm going to move it up, and it's going to go under the children. Where is it at? All right, here it is. Family and parenting. So I'm going to put it right here, and because I'm indexing it, it's going to be a subcategory. So So this one here could actually be up under here, going with teaching toddlers. So I'm going to put that right there, talking toddlers, teaching toddlers. So that one's there, and since this one is different altogether, I want to move it up and have the children kind of by itself. So now we have this right here. So now my category structure is exactly the way I want it. I got the adult stuff first, and then I got my cute babies, and then I got all the stuff talking about toddlers. So if I created something else about toddlers, I will put it up under here. So now that I have that the way I want it, I got my page that I created. I put it under my menu category, parenting and family, because it's a subcategory. It's not in all caps. Then I look at it. That's where I want it. I come down here and I click Save Menu. And then once I see that my manager is saving it, and it will flip it around. You do not leave your page until it comes up that says your menu is saved. And then if I want to see what it looks like, I will come to visit my site. And I will come down. And once you do a subcategory, you will see these arrows all of a sudden appear, and then you will see all your drop downs. So then I will go to my parenting. And there's my babies, and then here's my subcategory for teach toddlers to walk. So now I've created a subcategory within the subcategory. So that's how you can go in and do your menu structure. But just remember, all of your menu categories start out as a page. So you always want to create your page first, and then once you get your page created, then you go in, and then that's where you can go in and put it to your menu structure. Add it where you want it to add it, save your menu structure. As you create the pages that go into it, you want to make sure you link your menu structure to the page that it's going to, not your affiliate. Does that make sense? Did I lose everybody?
Oh, I'm taking notes, and you keep going. You're almost as bad as what's his name that does the Tuesdays.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to take notes on stuff. It's like, and then I got open spots to go. I didn't finish writing anything on that.
And the recording will be up about 45 minutes to an hour after we get finished on my YouTube.
Okay.
So you can go in there and look at it. They're all on there, all the way from January. You just have to look for them. Then just click on videos, and it'll pop all of them up. You'll see some for my kids too. My grandkids will be on there because he likes to watch himself.
Grandkid doesn't.
Yeah. And so somebody was asking, I forgot which one it was, about your pages. So when you come to your dashboard has a section that says post, and a lot of people don't know where to find their home page. Your home page is always on your post. So if you click on post and click on all posts, it will show you everything that appears on your home page. So these are just the 4. And if you are applying for Google AdSense or thinking about a Google AdSense, you need at least 2 on your home page. So if you don't want to go to your home page and find the edit button at the bottom of each section, then just come to your dashboard, go to post, go to all posts, and do the same thing that you would do with your pages. You would just click on and just click edit, and it will pull up that specific article that you have on your home page, just like it would with your pages. You can create a new post from here. Just remember that any post you create, the last thing you create will appear first. If you have one that you want to stay, then you have an option to where you can make that be your top priority all the time. That's the one that it's going to show all the time. No matter what you create, it will be your first one. And that will be in your edit section. Not your quick edit is where it will show that option to make that your main one. Same thing with your pages. I know someone was saying, well, where's all those free pages? They are here. So even though they're not in your category, all your pages are here. I have 11 pages of articles. I don't have 11 pages on my menu, but people can come in here and search based on these key phrases that I have. And every page that I've created, whether it's still in draft or whether, it's an actual published page, is here. And it shows what key phrase. Like, see, here's one. It's in draft. I still have not done this big gets. I need to get it. That's going to be probably one of my last ones that I do. But you have all these pages that, is in my website, but I do not have all these pages on my menu structures. There's just no way you're going to get 11 pages of stuff on your menu structure. It would look so cluttered, people would not shop. That's like going, and I love going into this store, but it's if you don't have time, you can't shop it. Like going to Ollie's, it's a big warehouse discount store, but it is so cluttered.
I've never been in one yet. I've been wanting to.
It's like a oversized Big Lots. If y'all have ever been to Big Lots, it's just an oversized Big Lots that has everything you can think of, but it's literally a warehouse. And if you don't have time to shop and look through every little thing to find what you want, you can get really frustrated and be like, man, this place is dirty. It's nasty. I can't find nothing. But you can get your menu structure like that to where it's so cluttered that people get tired of trying to find what they're looking for because you have so much in there. It just looks messy.
Right.
So you want to keep it clean. You want to keep it simple. That's why I say put your most relevant stuff in there, and you can swap it in and out. You can have stuff in there now and take it out for later. Your menu structure can change. Just because you take it off your menu structure, your page is still there. You just removed that menu item. Your page is still in your system. So just because you removed it off your menu does not mean you removed it out of your system. It's just off your menu. They can still search it in your pages. So, and all your pages are in alphabetical order. So I have all these things, so every page you create, whether you put it on your menu or not, is still in your website for people to search. So don't think just because your page isn't on your menu that it's not there. It is. They just have to click on search. But that's the wonderful thing about our website is each individual page we create has its own site, has its own link for that page. So that's why we market our pages instead of market our website. Because then that way they can come to that specific page that we're marketing and read about what we marketed, but then they also have access to search our website, but either based on our menu or through our search option. So that's the wonderful thing about our website is that you do have individual links for every page you create that you can market just that particular page, and they still have access to your whole website when they come to that page. So
here's a question. If they hit your search and they don't find what they're looking for, does it let you know that somebody looked for something they didn't find?
No, that's why you always in your openings, either in your home page or anywhere on your page, you can put a disclaimer. If you don't find what you're looking for, please fill out my magnet or fill out the information to the left or contact me through email. I have that on my home page. If you don't find what you're looking for, here's my Facebook page. Connect with me on Facebook. Let me know what you're looking for. I'll find it. So in your introduction on your home page, when you introduce yourself or either on your page at the bottom, let them know that they can contact you either through Facebook, social media, email, or tell them, hey, fill out the information on the right-hand side and let's connect. And then that way they have a way to let you know. And I have people that send me Facebook messages or send me emails because I have that on there that say, I was looking for this on your website, but I didn't see it. Do you have anything? And I'll tell them, I'll send them that squeeze link, fill this out, and then that way I can keep you updated on any new stuff I add. In the meantime, I'll look to see if I can find what you're looking for. And then that way I have a connection with them either through my website, that, hey, I am physically looking for this. And if I can't find exactly what they're looking for, with all the products I have access to, I can find something similar to it. And I'll tell them, I didn't find exactly that, but here's one that's just like it. And, and I'll create a page for it, or I'll just send them the link until I get the page. I'll say, here's the link. Have a look at it and tell me what you think, if it's something that you can use, and create a rapport with them. And, just like you would if you were a salesman at a retail store, you tell them, hey, we don't have that, but we have something similar. Let me show it to you. Right. A lot of times, if it's exactly what they are looking for, similar to it, they'll go ahead and buy it instead of searching for it over and over and over. At least it has the same components that they're looking, but you have established that relationship with them. And I promise you will have a customer for life once you do that. But always let them know that there's a way to get in touch with you. That's why when you fill out, when you visit your site, at the very bottom, you can put your information. So when they look at my website, on every page of my website, I have my Facebook link, my Twitter link, so they can connect with me. You can put that on every page, and the way you do that is you just go to your dashboard, and you go to your appearance. When you go to your appearance, and you're going to go to your headers, and you're going to go to where it asked you for your information. So once it pulls up, you're going to go your social media and click on your social media. And that's where you're going to put your information. Your email does not work because it automatically puts that HTTPS on everything that it adds. And email does not have an HTTPS. It's got a www. Right. So your email will not work. It will give them a broken link. So you want to actually have to physically add your email in your content. So when you're writing on your home page, you put your email address if you want them to connect with you through email. I just have my Twitter and my Facebook page because that's where I'm on a lot. I might actually come back. They don't have access to Instagram. I also have my Instagram link on my homepage that can connect with me through Instagram. So, but if you have a LinkedIn, which I do, I don't know why it's not on there, you can put your LinkedIn. And then that way, whenever they go through your web page and they get to the bottom of your page, they have the ways to connect with you.
Okay.
All right. But this is where you basically can customize your website. You can add your colors. You can put your header images. I have rotating images that I have in there that change out every few seconds so that anytime they pull up a page, they'll see a different page. But everything that's in here is linked to my website. That means that there's nothing in here that I don't promote, that I don't sell. I got steaks, I got wine, I got glasses, I got healthcare stuff, so everything. Even got memorabilia, I got clothing. So there's nothing on my pictures that I have on there that they can't find in my website. So there's a lot of people that's like, oh, I like this picture, I want to put it on there. If you have a picture on here that's rotating on your site, you better make sure that you have a page for it that they can find it, because they're assuming that that picture shows up, it's in your website somewhere. So if you use a picture, you better make sure it's in your website, because trust me, they do search for it.
Okay.
Okay.
So is that Valentis ad?
Yep. That's that came straight off Valentis.
Okay.
Same thing here. I use this all the time. Coffee Club. Start my club today. Valentis.
You put a link on every picture so it goes to where you want it to go to when they click on it. No.
No, you don't. It's just the advertising. So the pictures themselves aren't linked. But if they see a picture up here and there's like, okay, I want to search for that, they can come to my search bar and search for whatever picture they saw. If it's coffee, they can type in coffee. It's going to pull up my coffee pages. If they type in vitamins, it's going to pull up my health and fitness on vitamin page. Ink and toner, it's going to take them straight to my, I think it's under computers. I think that's where I have it for toner and ink and all kind of stuff related to computer hardware. Same thing with web hosting. It's under my computer category. Weddings, I have a whole page dedicated for weddings. So they can look at movies, they can type in movies. It goes straight to my, once they type in movies, it takes them to my Fandango page. I have 2 or 3 links for cigars. This is for my Native American. I have a page just dedicated to my Native American culture that they can see all kind of jewelry. They can see, rugs. They can see, different programs that we have set up, museums, things like that. So everything that is here is searchable on my website with a key phrase or keyword that is showing up. If they want to type in Las Vegas, it's going to take them to my travel page where they can actually go and not only Sephora, Excel Trip, but actually there's places where they can get tickets to go see shows in Las Vegas, book travel flights, hotels to Las Vegas. Same thing with Orlando. It's taking them straight to my travel page where they can read about how to get tickets to Disney, how to go see Orlando, how book a hotel, get flights, reservation. So wine, beer, I actually have an affiliate that does beer delivered to their home. So wine, DC. So it's not, everything here, chocolate, they can get wine, they can get fruit. I can't think of the name of the company, Halo or something like that has fresh fruit in season that gets delivered. So there's nothing in here. Couples, I got a page dedicated just for couples that they can get anything they want for couples. And that's all I'm saying about that. Games, Russell Stover's, Bitcoin. So these are one-word things that they can actually key in my search and find in my website. So even though you find a page that looks, or a picture, it's like, man, that's a really cute picture, I want to use it in my website. Make sure it is searchable in your website, that you actually advertise it, because they do look at those pictures. We as a whole are visual shoppers. Mm-hmm. And if we see that picture, we're assuming that you sell it in your website, and we're going to be looking for it. So if you have a picture that you're cycling through in your header images, make sure that you have a page dedicated, or that they can find it somewhere in your system through your search. Okay. And I think that covered, except for Trello. Trello.
Sheila, can I ask you a quick question before you go into that?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you remember I sent you some pictures. One of it was a very beautiful model, and yes, he had his shirt open a little bit. Uh-huh. And I don't mean to offend anybody, there's a category here of condoms, and I'm like, I can't even show that beautiful man with his shirt open, but you have a thing.
Yeah, and like I said, you can.
Adam and Eve.
And that's what I said. This is your website, and you can have, like I said, I have a page dedicated for couples, and it has everything that they will need to do whatever they want to do. Right. But you have to be very tasteful in and the reason I say that is because there are some affiliates that I have that I cannot use offensive material in my site, because I will lose them. Right. So that's why I said you can use pictures, just make sure they're very tasteful. Won't be considered offensive to some people, but it's not something that I advertise blatantly on my website, like that one with the couples. I think that's very tastefully done. It doesn't really show anything. It shows her back. It shows his front. There's nothing there that I consider, that my grandson couldn't sit and look at, because, it's not showing anything sexually explicit for her, or for him. It's nothing he wouldn't see at the pool, but, some of them, they, might show a body part that's not necessarily needs to be in public.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So my thing, and this is me, use your own judgment. If you feel that, hey, this is tastefully done, then by all means use it. But if you have any inkling that, hey, this might offend somebody, then I would not use it as far as an advertising. Not to say you won't put it on your page, because your page is something totally different.
I'm not a prude at all. I'm not, but it's sort of like, to me, very sexist. And, it's like, I think it's in very bad taste, and that it's not, that isn't your title, condoms for friends. You have like, hey, like the evenings you want to spend with somebody, and Anyway, so
Again,
can I change that? Remember, we can't change the title, right? I can just put
yes,
it in
you
draft.
can. Yes, you can. That's why I said if there's something that that's the beauty of our website. It's a template. The information is there for you to use if you can. If you want to change it, change it. Just make sure you change everything related to it. So if you change the title, make sure the slug changes.
Okay.
Make sure the permalink changes to exactly what you have it. That way it doesn't get a dead link. But you can change everything. You can change your title. You can change your keyword search. You can change the whole content. You can change every picture. You can change it to however suits you. Just make sure that when you go to, if it's in your menu structure, you also change it in your menu to match your page. But you can change anything.
Sheila, you know what? I haven't touched this, and it's saying updated failed. I haven't touched it. I just came to it. What is going on?
That's your automatic update. I think it's every 20 minutes or 60 minutes, 20 or 60 seconds, it does an automatic update. So you need to probably make sure your plugins are all updated if you keep getting that. It has something to do with that. Either that or they're working on your server.
Plugins? Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah. So all you have to do is just update.
How are they able to look at their page when I'm looking at your page while you're doing things? I can't do things on my page.
I've got two computers, sweetie.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
All right. So,
Sheila?
Yes.
Where is your disclaimer on your website that says if there's something that you look for but it's not here, let me know.
It's on my homepage. It's on my homepage. When they come to my homepage.
Okay.
It should be on there where it says somewhere on here. Right here.
Okay. Great, thank you. One other thing, when you move pages to the menu, the way it's set up now, as you said, that page will go to the bottom of the menu, but somebody told me that you can have it go to the top instead of the bottom. How do you do that?
There's a command in there. I don't ever mess with it. I'll just drop and drag it. But even if you go to, even if it shows up at the top, you still have to categorize it where you want it. So you're still going to have to drop and drag it to where you want it to be.
So it's actually, it's not something you check off.
No.
Okay.
So even if you tell it, hey, I don't want it to show up at the bottom, I want it to show up at the top, you're still going to have to drag it to the category you want it to go to.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So I don't mess. To me, that stuff is just little minute details. You're still going to have to do the big stuff, which is move it into the category you want it to move it to. So whether it appears at the top or the bottom, it's still, with me, my menu structure is kind of long. But I don't add any more to it. That one I put in there today, I'm actually going to go in and I moved two out of it this morning because they were dead. But I don't add any more to mine without taking something out. So whether it appears at the top or the bottom, when I add something, I still have to index it. So that means I'm still moving it. So it doesn't matter to me whether it appears at the top or the bottom. It still has to be moved.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So now Trello, which is a good thing I have mine up. Roy has, if you look on episode 9, those of you that are in Trello, he actually has a website, a video on how to use and set up Trello. I have my own board, and this is one of my students. He actually applied for Google AdSense this morning, so we're hoping he's going to get it. We finally got all of his broken links down to 0 this morning. I've been up since like 6 o'clock fixing this. So we finally got everything together. But this is Trello. And this is my board with all of my students. It looks really colorful, doesn't it?
So,
and Trello is where you will come and create your Trello board. Once you get into Trello, then Roy has the ability to invite you to different boards once you decide you want to become an instructor, or you can once you create a Trello, you can create your own personal board to keep up with your V marketing, those that are in V marketing, which is what you want to do. So if I come to my homepage, it will show me all the boards that I have access to, which is quite a few. So here's my V marketing boards. Here's one of my students' V marketing boards. So when I come to my V marketing boards, I give my students access to it. So I put in my instructions for V marketing that they need to do, and then they fill it out as they come in. And then I set up a list for each one of my students that is in the V marketing program. And what they do is they come here and they put their students in that they've gotten in contact with and that they're following. And once they do is they'll come through here, and if there's anybody that says, hey, I don't want anything to do with this anymore, then they will come in here and they will put their leads here. And then what I will do is I'll come in and put them in my Scipio account, and I will drip on them periodically with new information. And then that way they've already been pre-enrolled with my students. So if they come back later and say, hey, yeah, I've changed my mind, I've decided to do that, then I have all my students' information in here. So I will get in touch with them and I will sign them up under that student. I don't sign them up under me. I make sure my students get credit for the work that they've done. And then I will let my student know, hey, they've signed up. Do you want me to follow up with them, or do you? And we can just go from there. But Trello is really handy. You just create a card. It says right here, add a card. You put your information that you have on the particular lead, a phone number, email, address if you have it, and then you just add all the information as it comes in. If you contacted them, what you said, how you said it, any information or feedback that they had. And then once they decide to sign up, then you will let your instructor know, say, hey, they signed up in Valentis. Then your instructor will then move that student's card off of your personal board, or you can move it, or you copy that information for your instructor and they will put it on their board for them to be able to keep track of. And then that's where you start following the protocols to get them into PBS and your direct sellers. But I have access to Roy actually promoted me to Master System Instructor a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, we haven't told too many people. So
congratulations,
congratulations, Sheila.
Thank you. But we have all these boards that we go through, and they're just full of students, you know, that we need to contact, that we have contacted, and yeah. So they all have stuff, you know, have Rory stuff in here. So Trello is really fun, and it's a good way for you to keep in touch or keep up with your leads. And once you get in there, you just create, you know, your titles just like you would basically with your website. You create a title, you create a column, you name it, and then as your students come in or as your leads come in, you can type it in, like with mine. Like I said, you have your positive leads, you have your follow-up leads. You can do it like, and just move your cards. Once you get them in here, you can move your cards however you want to move them. You know,
I don't understand what you're talking about, move the cards.
Yeah, all you do is drop and drag it. So if, say, you have a student, you know, like we're going to use Sonia's, and I always tell my students to make sure you give your other, because once you create a Trello card and you invite people to come in, they can see everything that's in here. My students know that when they get invited to my Trello board, that they are not to look at anything but their column, because we put information in here, you know, because my students can go in and look at their card and all the information I've put in there. I ask them not to do that, and I'm hoping they respect my wishes, because, you know, sometimes I put very pertinent information in there. I don't sugarcoat anything. If I had trouble with the student, I put in there exactly what I had trouble with that we need to work on, need to fix. So all these are my instructors that, you know, have cards in here, you know, and they have specific information that is confidential between them and their student. They don't want anybody else to read. So I ask them, you know, make sure you put this disclaimer, yes, you got permission to view if they have to. Because sometimes, you know, we might, especially if we work in the call boards, and their student calls in and they're not accessible, then somebody else might pick up the phone. and they'll have to go in and put notes on that card for that instructor to call them back. So they need to make sure that they've given them that information. But say like Miss Rosalie Dawn here, Miss Sonia is working with, and all of a sudden she's like, hey, I don't want to be contacted anymore. Please take me off of it. So Sonia will then pick this card up and she will drag it over here to my stop. And then, she can just drop it anywhere so that when I come back in, I get a message from Trello in my email saying that this card was updated, it was changed or whatever. So then I can come in here and read Miss Sonia's notes and see why this card was moved. And then once I get those notes saying that the card was moved, she doesn't want to be dripped on or anything like that, then I will go and add her to my other account to be dripped on randomly. And I'll just let her know Valentis, if she wants to get out of Valentis, then she has to fill out the opt-in form for Valentis when they send her an email. At the bottom of it, it has the same disclaimer. If you want to opt out, click here. So in order for her to get out of the Valentis email, she has to do that herself. We can't do that. But we can stop, sending the emails. We'll send the last email. This is the last one you'll get from me, blah, 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 where she can go to your health and fitness page. But, depending on your instructor, they should have a board similar to this. And then you would just move that card to the do not call line or column that they have, or the stop call. And then your instructor will take over from there. If they are pre-enrolled, they will still get those emails from Valentis. If they decide to sign up, you will get an email from Valentis saying that your student or customer upgraded. And then you can come back to that card and fill out the information on it that, hey, they upgraded. And then you have the option, because Valentis will send you the email that they upgraded with. Then you can go in there and send them the email and invite them, however, follow the flow, the protocol. Once they upgrade, then you're going to follow the protocol to get, with them to do the BRT, get them into PBS and follow the flow. So that's how you work your Trello. So you just want to go, I think it's episode 9, follow the instructions on signing up with Trello and watch that video. It explains you step by step how to get into Trello and how to work it. And you can play with it. And then once you get your own Trello board, you become an instructor. Until you become a CSI or GSI, you will work off your instructor's board. They will set up a column like I have for my students that are working the V marketing or potentially becoming a instructor. They will come in, and set up a column for you to put all your information with your potential students. Then once you become a GSI, a full GSI, then Rory will assign you your own board. And then he will invite all the senior instructors to be able to come into your board. And that's just in case somebody calls into the call line or support line. Then we can go in and document your card and let you know, hey, so-and-so called in or they need help with something, and document the card for that student just to help keep you, access to it. And then you will move all your cards off your instructor card into your new board. But it's just a really good way to help keep up with all your students or potential students in one place.
Right.
Sheila, yeah.
Go ahead.
Thanks. Yes, I just want to confirm. So we should be making the Trello card once they're a pre-enrollee. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to confirm.
You don't make a card until you do the pre-enrollee and you send out the email. Then you make a card and let them, so that you pre-enroll them. You put their information that you have, and it should be right there on the sheet, the Google Doc sheet. You just put that information in there. You put your notes that you've sent the 3 text emails, 3 text messages. You got a response back. You sent the email, and now that you're waiting to hear back. If you hear back from them, whatever. If you don't hear back from them, and then you can go and you set a time. You can actually go into Trello. Okay, you there again? I lost my connection.
Yes.
We're supposed to be having a storm, and I think it's trying to decide whether it wants to storm or not because it got real cloudy in the last 10 minutes. So, but anyway, so this is one that we need to reassign. I don't even know where it came from. It just has my picture on there because it's there. But say you got one and you done the 3 text messages, you sent the email, and now you're just waiting to hear back from them. You can actually come over here and set a due date to send that 4th text message, set a due date to send that 5th text message. And then what happens is you will get an email alert saying so-and-so's due soon. Like this one will be Susie Bear, says Susie Bear's due soon. So then you can pull up that Trello card and see, oh yeah, I got to send out that 4th email or that 4th text message. And then it helps you stay on track with keeping up with your Valentis marketing. And then that way you don't fall behind. You're like, okay, I got these many students, I got to send out the fourth day text message or the 5th day text message or my final text message or my final email. So that's a good way of keeping track of when they are due. And then once they're done, you can just put complete and just put a note, completed V-marketing, and they will just sit there unless your instructor has a column for completed V-marketing, and then you can move them over. But it just depends on how the instructor or you have your Trello. If you're doing your own Trello with your V-marketing, then I would definitely put a completed in there so that you can move them to completed, because we just got our second 90 days. Those of us that have been in it, we just got our second 90 days in. So that way we can keep track of who comes up. I've already had 4 or 5 people come in from my first 90 days, like in the first or second week, because they've been getting 3 months of emails from Valentis about all these people that are signing up. So it does work. It just takes a bit because, especially now with summer coming up,
it pushed me to get in.
Because it does work. It just, takes time for people to see, okay, I was at number 127. Now I'm dropped down to 206. How much money did I lose because I didn't get in? And so it does trigger them to get in eventually. And then once they get in, then we can, work with them and see where they want to go. If they just want to be a customer, that's fine. We can show them how to go in and either set up a loyalty package or how to go in and order as they see fit. Or we can get them in as an IR, which is exactly what we want them to, we want to get them in as an IR to show them how to make money. But some of them just want to come in as a customer to start off with, which is totally fine. We just make sure that we don't lose them. That's why that due date is important, that we set up at least once a week to get in touch with them, either by email or, text to let them know, hey, something's coming up. We got come in on Tuesday night to listen to our calls, come in on Wednesday night, listen to our calls, invite them to the Valentis trainings that we have, anything to keep in touch with them on a consistent basis so we don't lose them. Does that help?
Yep. Yes, definitely.
Okay. So I think that's all.
Go ahead. Sorry. What is the advantage of, eventually you become an instructor anyway, right? After you get some people on your team, so.
I do have some that are not instructors. They don't want to be instructors. And so they'll do the V-marketing and they'll call me, or they'll Skype me and say, hey, I got a good one. They just filled out all the information and I will talk with them. I've already got them that they're already under that student's information. So I will get them in for that student and I will instruct them for that student. But I will make sure that I have all that student's information. I don't ever take away anything from my student. If they don't want to be an instructor, that's fine. I will instruct whoever comes in, but I will make sure that that student gets all the credit. Eventually, once their confidence builds up and they want to be an instructor, they do 3 ways with me. I'll do a 3-way Skype message and they will sit and listen on how I do it. We'll do a 3-way call. But they're just not comfortable talking to people, and that's fine. But I want to make sure all of my students, I have all of their information. I have their direct sellers link. I have their Valentis link. I have all of their Coinbase, their Bitcoin. I have all of their links that they have for their system, so that if they bring me a student that they've gotten in, then I make sure that when that student gets ready to get their PBS, I send them the links for the student that got them in. I don't give them my links. And I work that student until the other.
So that's why you have a different board for every student.
Yes. because all my students, because here's all my personal students, and some of my, personal students have gone in to, become instructors. And even though they are instructors, they are still my personal students. And then I do have some that are not instructors, but, they have students, and I work those students for them.
Wow, you're nice.
That's what you're supposed to do as an instructor. Because if I can't build up my students to where they're comfortable and see some money, or at least their system building, then how's that going to help me?
Yeah.
So I want my students to feel confident. If that means I got to, do a 3-way at 9:00 at night because they're on Pacific time, then that's what I'll do. I got a student in Hawaii, and there's a couple of times, I'm up at 12:00 at night because he just got off work, and he's got somebody, or he's got something that he wants to talk to me about. So you have to do what you have to do to be when you're an instructor, because if your students don't grow, you don't grow. If your students aren't confident in what they're doing and in their abilities, they're not going to go anywhere. They're going to get frustrated and they're going to quit. So that's why I do whatever I can with my students. Sometimes, my business doesn't grow. I can't get on the phones like I want to, because I want to make sure my students have what they have. Once I know that they're confident and settled, then I'll get back on the phones and work. And then I'll get more students in. And whenever I get a new PBS, I always keep one for myself. If I get 3 in a week, I give 2 of them away, and I'll keep one.
It also shows them that the system works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
going back to something that attracted me right from the beginning, we're talking about paying it forward.
Paying it forward.
Wow. I've heard of that.
Exactly. So, if I keep everything to myself, then how's that showing my students how to work the business? It's not. Right. So always I keep 1 and give 2 away. If I get 2, if I only get 2, I give 2 away. I always give 2 away. If I get 3, I keep 1, give 2 away. And then the more students I get, it might, that I know are instructors, then it might be different. If I get 4 in, I'll give 3 away and keep 2. Or keep 1. If I have to give all 4 away because one of my instructors hadn't gotten a new student in a couple of weeks, then hey, here's a new one for you. Go for it.
What's the different color coding on each name, like green, yellow, orange?
There's a color code system. So when you go in, you will see over here where it has the labels, and it's for the different labels. So you have the PBS, you have
those are already in place?
Yeah, they're already in place, so you don't have to create them. You go here and hit show more labels, and it shows you all the different labels. So as a student comes in, or as you do anything, like Sonia's got here that she texts this student or text this potential customer. If they come in and get into PBS, then you will type that they bought a PBS or sold. However, if they get into computer, then you will put in they got into computer, put that label up there, and then you would get their computer link. If they got in Sephora, you would do the same thing. If they are in the system and they want access to Rory's Dropbox, then you would put that in. So everything has a label so you know what your student is doing and where they are.
Without having to open the box up. Without having to open up the box and read what's inside of it.
Exactly. You can see based on the labels exactly what they're doing.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty nifty.
So, but everybody should have access to Trello, especially if you're doing V-marketing. You should have opened a Trello and started your own V-marketing board, just so you can keep up with them on your own. If you have not, you should have at least your instructors to where you can. But if you have Trello and you signed up for Trello, go ahead and create your own board for your V-marketing. That way you can keep up with it.
So I was confused as to what the heck this was for. Now I understand. So thank you.
You're very welcome. And it will, trust me, it will come in handy. It helps you keep track of just about everything. I would be totally lost without that in my calendar. My Google.
And it's free.
Yes, it's free. There's no charge for it. It's totally free. You can actually have up to 10 boards.
Cool.
Without being charged. 10.
10.
Yeah, you can have up to 10 different boards without paying anything. Once you get to 10, then they'll want you to open up an account.
And pay.
So, but I mean, usually by the time my students, like Charlene, she's getting ready to get her on board soon. She's actually in pre-GSI qualifications right now. And I'm hoping Rick and the rest of them will get there pretty quickly. But we're working on it. So I got to get.
We're lucky to have you.
No doubt.
Well, I got a few of you on here. We're going to get your confidence up so I can get you on here as students, instructors. Don't be laughing, Miss Linda Marie.
Are you the only one, Miss Linda, does this kind of? Are you the only one does this kind of training?
No, Miss Kathleen does one on Tuesday mornings, and Miss Linda does one on Tuesday evenings. I'm the only one that does it on Saturdays.
So is it the same link number just for those days? Just put the same.
No, they're different, and they do it different. Everybody does it differently. So, but you have to, if you want to go to one of their classes, you just tell your instructor that you need to change classrooms, and she will invite you, or he will invite you to one of the other classrooms.
Only one classroom at a time.
Yep. Yeah, because we both basically are just supposed to be able to answer your questions and make sure you get on the right track. So we all do the same thing. We just have our own different teaching techniques.
All right.
Sheila, before you go, I know this is, I'm on episode 9. It says password. And I put in RRR, lower and upper 247. What am I doing wrong?
It's Rory.
Oh, I'm so sick of it, capital R or lower R or.
Yep. And so just read through that, and it has introduction to Trello on there.
Oh, well, I'm not, I just, oh, God.
But it should have, and it should also have Trello on the triple R training, because he just updated a bunch of that too.
All right. Capital R or lowercase?
Capital.
All right, here we go again.
And make sure you do the 7s, 3 7s. But that's
3 7s?
Yeah, Rory 777.
Oh God, see this is okay. RORY 1 2 3. See, this is all. Oh, come on, please. Oh, it opened. It opened. Oh, I'm sorry. RR247 is what I'm so used to. Okay.
Yeah.
RRY7.
All right, so we kind of run late today. So if we don't have any questions, and if everybody got their questions answered.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This will be available on my YouTube channel. Those of you who don't have my YouTube channel, I will post it in the chat. So you can go there. It'll be available probably within the next 2 hours, that you can go there and listen to all of my channels, all of my trainings that we've had. So I'm going to go and post that in the chat, and you can copy it.
You're awesome, Sheila.
Oh, thank y'all.
Definitely, Sheila. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It helps when y'all ask questions. Sometimes when I first started, nobody would ask questions, so I was trying to figure out things to talk about. So it helps when y'all ask questions, because then I have a direction to go to make sure that everybody's taken care of. So there's the link in the chat, so copy that. And if we're all done, I will see y'all. No, next Saturday we will not be meeting, because I will be in Atlanta at the ball field.
What? No Wi-Fi?
Yeah, right.
I don't think they would allow me to take a laptop into the Braves game.
The Braves game? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Eli has a tournament in Atlanta, because he got on the travel team. So he has a tournament in